song is called Existential Is Trendy.
Hello, everyone. Another crazy weekend, crazy week of sports.
War.
United World Sports, Dante Suave, Mystah Jay. What's going on? We're gonna jump right into the NBA because we got plenty to talk about between college football and pro football. Uh, I got a lot to say. I got a lot of takes on what's going on in the NFL right now. But like I said, we're gonna start with the NBA. So, what's going on in the NBA? If you want to go back over what we were talking about before the show started.
Well, breaking news: Wembanyama is out for the next couple of weeks with a strained calf that appears to have happened during his battles with Draymond in the Warriors game on Friday night. Why they waited until Monday in order to release that information, I don't know. But yeah, they're saying he's going to be down for a couple of weeks. But that goes into our conversation we was having last week with can his body sustain playing in in this era of basketball with it. Draymond was kind of the first
What
one to really go physically at him.
so so would wouldn't this be even more important seeing that they're trying to get around to the point of having players sit like really monitoring his minutes, especially seeing that he had just come back anyway. So
You want to know something that I've heard that was interesting?
what's
That
up?
the league that it's not just their league, it's other leagues as well are fighting against. Some of the owners are trying to get either have the players wear the rings like this, the galaxy rings or something, in order to track the aura rings, in order to track like their body mass, their sleep habits, things like that. And they're pushing against it because they're saying it's invading the privacy of it when they're just using it as their way of trying to kind of monitor the nutrition and everything that's in the players,
That ain't
especially
the
if
only thing
they're
they're
playing.
doing. That ain't the only thing they're doing.
Oh yeah, they try and make sure. I mean, you're not gonna stop them from being out at the club at,
Well,
at
no,
4 o'clock in the
that
morning.
that's not what I'm talking about either.
What?
You know what this is about. And matter of fact, the man that just got fired is a big part of it. Nico, they
Mm.
monitored. This is a money thing. This is
Mhm.
wait, I'm getting ready to pay you a big time contract. I need to know what
But
you.
but
I need to know that that my investment is going to be worth it. See, this is the problem with all of and people need to understand this. And I'm a little guy. I'm a little guy. I am nothing on the totem pole of know, whether it be from a know-it-all standpoint or anything like that. This is basic business. And
Mhm.
what they have been showing little by little. The only ones that haven't really been showing it that I'm aware of. I just got back to baseball, so I need some time, and I'll see what they're overall doing too,
Oh, no.
based upon who I'm listening to, and based upon who I'm checking out, who I'm listening to, what they're saying. But here's the bottom line: you want more money. You want the money to keep going up. The more the money keep going up, the more they're gonna be like, okay, I need to know everything you doing because how they say, I need to know that my money is well invested. And if it's not well invested, when your contract comes up, then I can move on from you and make sure that my money that my money investment is being well used properly, because these owners, when they're not winning, the first thing that everybody want to say is well, the owner don't want to win. To say that an owner don't want to win, especially if they're a successful entrepreneur, that's ludicrous. There's a reason why Jerry is Jerry, and why he thinks the way he thinks. He knows he knows in the long haul, as long as there's a way for his bottom line to be winning, he is always winning, even if the Dallas Cowboys ain't. Now, there are some owners that actually, hey, I'm paying you to that I'm gonna actually be winning, not just on my bottom line, but in terms of my reputation of being the owner of this team. I need y'all out there winning. You have owners that instill that in their GMs, and you see where it works out. That obviously is going to be a awesome conversation that's going to spill over to the NFL later. But I digress. We're talking about right now. That's what they're in my opinion, based upon what you just said. That's them wanting to do the checks and the balances and make sure that, oh, your contract coming up. I'm not gonna pay you 384 million. I'm not gonna pay you 484 million, and you're not taking care of your body. That you are out on the floor. The fans want you out there every night. You're gonna be out there every night. And I need to know that you're taking care of yourself to the maximum, because correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't that also equate, if they're not taking care of their body right, doesn't that affect their play and their ability to do their job at the best? So, like I said, just thinking about it from I know I'm a small guy, and I'm thinking on my level of money. Is my money being properly invested? My apartment right now, I know it's being properly invested. How do I know? I live in a quiet, peaceful neighborhood, and I don't have no problem out of my neighbors. Do I like the price of my rent? No. But because I get all those other things, I go, comes with the territory. If I go someplace cheaper, it's not going to be as quiet. How do I know? Because I've lived in those environments.
Right.
Whether I actually paid for rent or I paid a little bit for rent, I know what that's like. The analytics.
Yeah.
The analytics of
and
it.
this is where I get, as a former athlete and as a business owner, I see both sides of it. But the biggest thing that I see is that how can some of these players that are business owners sit there and say, okay, it's an invasion of privacy, of my privacy, with what I'm doing with my body, that could possibly dictate how much I get paid later on down the line. But you probably own one of these rings, and your personal trainer that you're paying in order to keep track of that, your nutritionist to keep track of that and everything else, they have access to it. And if you go against them in some way, shape, or form, they got your personal information. They can sit out there, and all these unnamed sources that seem to pop up out of the network, out of the woodwork for it, they can have it in that instance of it. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, what you trying to hide? What you trying to cover up?
It's power and control game at the end of the day. Me and you done talked about it.
Yeah.
It's people wanting to make sure that they have as much control as they can have, and a lot of times they take it, like, to me, and I've said this many a times, I know, but I feel like people try to treat the business owners, because they are their own commodity. They try to treat them, they try to do the business owners the way the business owners does them. The problem is, the business owner didn't fill out an application to you. You filled out an application to them. They told you what they required. You said you would do it, not the other way around. And what humans tend to do, they're in a crunch, they need a job. Oh, yeah, I'm filling out the application. Yeah, you got to do this, and this. Are you willing? Do you see anything on here that's a problem? It's basically, a job application is code word for business contract. And that's why they treat people the way they treat people, because a lot of times people, it's no sooner than people get in the door, they decide, oh, this is what I'm not doing. Oh, well, I'm gonna work for you, but I'm gonna work for you my way, at my pace, And you better understand that I got a lot going on in my life. I got 75 baby mamas, 150 children, and and the courts ain't showing me no
All
love.
right, now you're not
And
gonna talk about half the league like that. Come on. You can't do
I,
that.
we all know that goes beyond the league, but I
No,
digress.
I mean we
But but and before anybody start talking smack, I got two baby mamas. So I got two baby mamas.
I do too.
Only one of which I deal with. Um
I do too.
only one of which I will be dealing with even after my last one gets over 18. So and that'll just be because of the relationship we were able to have for the sake of the boys. So um
But
so
it's
but you
weird.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see
It's
what you're saying. It just it's weird because to me it was weird when it came out because they said that could possibly be a sticking point um of the next collective bargaining agreement is the use of those type of platforms in order for them to be able to track and monitor health and nutrition on the players. When I'm looking at it as this is an investment of my money, why am I not going to want to know if my investment of my money is in the top form that can contribute to make me more money? If I see any type of drop off in it, I'm under contract till it expires, and then they do what they got to do. But it's still an investment.
and
I have
that's not what they and obviously when something directly affects you or me, we all of a sudden, if it affects other people, we go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I see why you're doing that. But when it directly affects you and your ability to get ahead, you start going, hey, wait a minute. No, I don't like that.
right, right.
I'm not feeling that. And there are some people that are fair, even when it's happening to somebody else, they go, well, that ain't right. Not everybody is that way, but numbers to some extent, we are all that way. When
Yeah.
it's so easy to say what ain't right when all of a sudden it directly hits home, and then all of a sudden you become a connoisseur of what's right, what's wrong, how things should be done. Even if you've never been a business owner a day in your life, all of a sudden you have an opinion. Your opinion is fact, and whatnot. These people are looking out for their bottom line, and they're wanting to improve their product. And that's what you are. You don't have to like it, but that's what you are. You are their product in a sense. You're on the team. Their team is their product, and they want to make sure that they're getting the most out of their product. Not bad for a person
It's
that don't really have a business, huh?
oh shoot. Yeah, true. Now the next one is the returns. The returns and how good or bad they're going to be. You got Paul George returning tonight. You got the God returning possibly tomorrow.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I hate to cut you off, but I need to real quick because every time you say it, it makes me start laughing. Um, what what prompted you to start calling him the God?
Because he can do no wrong.
Okay, touche.
I'm to
All
a
right.
point. I'm to a point now, and it was funny because one of the sportscasters for WCPO here had a post up about anger versus apathy, and he was
Uh-huh.
talking about the Bengals. But it fits in anything when it comes to sports.
Hmm.
I can be angry all the time with the debates between LeBron and Kobe, with LeBron and Jordan, with LeBron with any of the GOATs that they put them up against it. I can be angry because and I'm not sounding cocky when I say this, I have digested enough basketball in my 44 years to where I could piss out a whole list of people that stats would have been that good if they didn't get hurt versus what LeBron did. But I choose not to do that. But after a while, you get to a point to where that anger goes to apathy. You're going to do whatever it takes in order to make it to where LeBron wins the arguments. You're going to do everything that you're going to always. The one thing about stats is it can be always skewed in order to make a person look right in some way, shape, or form. So I don't care. You want him to be the god of the NBA? That's your God. I will call him the god of the NBA. Because until they make a way for us to transport prime LeBron and put him in a game against prime Jordan or prime Kobe in there, it's never going to be answered. So, I will acquiesce to your God. All the basketball people of knowledge and a higher being. Oh, I praise him.
All right, my bad for interrupting you. Go
No,
ahead
you
and finish your statement.
But when it comes to those, I don't see Paul George helping. I see Paul George coming back as possibly a hindrance because that rookie has been balling for Philadelphia along with Maxey. So now you're bringing back Paul George, who is an ISO style player in that mix. Ball's gonna slow down. It's not gonna swing. That rookie's not gonna get. And depending on, I'm trying to remember if they play the same position or not. If they plug Paul George right in the starting lineup just because it's Paul George, you're affecting the chemistry of the team. Why would you do that?
So essentially, Paul would be something like he was a talented player, but it was what it was.
Now, yeah.
No. He's basically a right now version of Carmelo Anthony. And
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony, for Christ's sake, he was talented. But the whole time I used to argue with people, he got traded. Every time he got traded somewhere, he got traded somewhere where their style of play was up tempo and fast and go go go. And he was more of an old schooler that as soon as he touched the ball, everything slowed down because he was a post up. He was a post you up and hurt your feelings kind of guy. And there's nothing wrong with that because he was great at what he did. He was great at what he did, and I always respect him for it. But I do feel like in terms of chemistry with his style of play, I felt like when they had Zach Randolph, they had Marc Gasol, they had Tony, oh Jesus, what was his name? Tony.
Oh shoot. It's on the tip. I can see him. It wasn't Harris.
Yeah, me too.
What was it? It was with Zach Randolph too.
Yeah, it was Zach Randolph. It was Marc Gasol. It was Tony something. Dang it.
It was in Memphis, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was to me, that would have been like his best spot because they ran like a slower type of offense. So he wouldn't have disrupted anything. And he wouldn't have disrupted anything. He would have added more points to it, which would have made them more of a problem over in the Western Conference, in my opinion. So,
I'm looking it up because I know who that is. It begins with an A. Tony Allen.
Yeah.
I knew I could see him and I could see the A, but I couldn't see what it was on the back end of the jersey for it. I thought it was something short. Yeah, Tony Allen. When that, yeah, because even Zach said that was one of his best teams.
He wouldn't have disrupted nothing. and he would have added points to it because he was a really good scorer. So so for me, that's where he always and the funny part was that was like one of the few times that I would talk basketball with people that nobody would argue with me about it. And it's like I did not one person when I pointed that out about Carmelo. I didn't get called a hater. They totally understood where I was coming from and they agreed. It's like everywhere he ended up at, he always ended up with a coach that had an up and down tempo.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't who he was, and he was a great player. He was definitely a great player. Anybody that says that Carmelo was not a great player, you are insane. Now, yes, other than college, yeah, he college and the Olympics, he didn't really do much on the end of championships. You could say that, but there's a lot of talented players that unfortunately you have to associate that with. So that's not something that anybody that says that uh that shouldn't be held against those players. I totally get that. They should always get an honorable mention for the talent that they display. Just like Vince Carter. Uh Vince Carter was um he was a completely incredibly talented player. You don't have a championship to go with it.
No.
Okay. Tracy McGrady, another one. Completely talented. Wish he could have been like Bosch and went somewhere where he got a championship. And some might argue that Doc may have cost him one.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
that whole thing with Tim Duncan, and although I can't, the more I say that to myself, the more I'm like, no, that wasn't him. That was as much as I hate to say it, because obviously I got a lot of love and respect for Tim Duncan. I felt like that was a selfish moment. Is like he was following the rules and he couldn't break the rules and he wasn't going to break the rules even for somebody that was a star. And Orlando got cost that seemingly, if that story is true, simply because they didn't like the fact that he was following the rules. If only
Hmm.
players are supposed to be on the plane, then only players are supposed to be on the plane. If somebody decides to make an exception, they're taking their job into their own hands
Yeah.
when somebody else finds out. If that's what they choose to do, okay, fine. But if you meet somebody that decides, no, I'm not going to break the rules. These are the rules. You don't have to like it. You can even voice it. But at the end of the day, that person didn't do anything wrong to you.
No. And that's the stuff that makes it to where they have the a lot of those players that are in that ilk of never had a championship, never sniffed a championship, doesn't take away that they were great players. It never has. We still consider them greats of their era, top top five of their
Well,
era from that.
but the problem is like in terms of when you're talking about greats, I see where people feel a little something because because usually when we talking about greats, we talking about greats that won championships, greats that were the most dominant in winning championships, which means that you talking about the LeBrons, you talking about Jordan, you talking about um Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
um, but then there's like so many players that you aren't talking about. And I'm glad that a lot of people are starting to talk about them now. Matter of fact, in terms of especially when it comes to the whole color barrier thing, I'm glad people are starting to bring up Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Although from what I'm seeing, I haven't been clicking on the stuff, but there are some people that are trying to put a narrative out there that there was some not so nice trash talk that apparently Larry used to do
They
on
all did it.
it until
I don't
until
care.
until it starts like I want to hear it from some of the same players that was saying that he was dropping the crazy, just trash talk. I want some of them to go, well, yeah, he did have this one game where he was like, yeah, he said something, you know, I
But it's like, what do you want at this point now? It seems like, and this is again with the technological age, to where a lot of stuff that was in archives is now where it's readily available for people to sit there and dissect and zoom in and enhance and everything in order to hear everything else for it. If the players that played during that era didn't care, they ain't mentioned it. Why are we digging it up? We're digging it up for our own benefit, for our own clickbait, for our own things to get views onto our platforms. And that's that microwave journalism that has diminished the craft and the purity of it. You can't sit there and manufacture a headline because you heard somebody say something in the middle of a game 40 years ago. Unless they come out and say sometime in the next couple of days, Larry Bird during a basketball game punched somebody in the head, and when they hit the ground, the person ended up having a brain aneurysm and ended up dying later on down the line from it. I've heard worse from us against each other on a street ball court.
yeah.
So what's the point of even what are you gaining from it? It's
The
not.
fact
It's a fact of trying to get some attention and get some clickbait. That's all. And it's like, what the? At this point, I'm like, you're not benefiting. Whatever.
Yeah. So, like I said, I did. Apparently, I missed the little. I must have fallen asleep on the game or something, or I think my TV did start acting up because I think I did had a Spurs Warriors game on my small TV and it started acting up with my internet, so I just left it off. So that might have been why I missed the little action between uh Draymond and Wemby because
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that game. So
Draymond was being classic Draymond against Wemby, and Wemby did not back down. And I give Wemby his props for it. That's why I said it's kind of crazy that right afterwards you find out that now he got a strained calf for it. Like, he didn't look like it. He was still moving around. Did he
well,
strain it afterward? Did he strain running from ducking and swinging around with Draymond when they was two-stepping and Draymond was holding on to him for dear life?
um what probably happened was he probably felt it and he probably said something and they thought, well, let's see how you feel in a couple of days. And it was still an issue and they're like, all right, let's see what's up. Like, okay, okay, clearly this is a problem. You got to sit it down. We got to shut it down. And that is I commend them for doing it. Do not worry about the fact that you need him on the court because they have some pieces. Besides him, they have some pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and it is looking pretty good. And I consider myself a good judge of character, and I've watched like multiple games, so it's not a I haven't watched every game obviously because obviously they're not gonna show every game where I can watch it, but I feel like I've watched enough of their early games to feel like what I saw from the others, and they've gotten a little better on from a consistency standpoint, which I also like. So this could be the West is looking like it's going to be a problem, even with OKC looking like we always talked about. You have your number one, and then you got everybody else fighting and fighting to see who gonna be who gonna be what, where, how, and why.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on your level of consistency and talent and chemistry will depend on how low on the totem pole you end up. So and I feel sorry for the Clippers because they look pretty good,
I don't.
but I think their age is kind of the age thing is kind of part of why they're inconsistent, and that's why I feel that's why I feel sorry for them. Now, obviously, they made their bed by making the choice to decide to go with like older veteran players, and even keeping some of those players that have like injury issues as well as being older. So, the older players, they expect to get paid. Now, the more of them that you have, the less of them, the more you're gonna have to be a great scout of talent. So, uh, so that you can try to get every ounce of bang for your buck that you can. So, which that's a difficult ask, you know.
When it comes to the Clippers, and that ties into the last topic we had before we moved on, was I found out, and just I do my browsing on Instagram and stuff just to find different things, the different nuances for it. I did not know that OKC owns the Clippers draft pick this upcoming draft if it falls into the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Clippers continue to be trash and they fall into the lottery, then OKC could possibly win a championship and get the number one draft pick.
And then, of course, there will be people out there that will want to go, hey, this was rigged. And it's like,
No,
well,
no, this is the deals. For every time somebody says something is rigged, I come back and I say, when can you show me in the algorithm where all these different possibilities lined up to where this could happen? Nobody told the Clippers when they made that trade to do that. Nobody thought that the Clippers would be this early in the season. And it's not guaranteed that they will make it they will continue to be this way. They might turn it on, might hit a switch. James Harden might shave his beard and all of a sudden figure out that he can still jump and fly instead of just flopping and shooting threes. We don't know. But it's the deals that they ownership and their leadership made that can come back to bite you. That's why whenever somebody makes this trade and anybody sees a draft pick, unprotected first round draft pick in 2028, 2029, 2030, everything else like that. Yes, they're going that far out in the future because they don't want to think about it. But what they fail to realize is that if you're trading that off to somebody that's a building team, a close to being there into the playoffs or being a top tier team, or in this case, a top tier team that has already built up to where all their young stars is under contract for the next 4 to 5 years, and now you're just adding one more. You're sitting up there, you're looking like Brad Pitt and George Clooney and Ocean's 11. You think we need one more? Yeah, let's get one more.
And that's the other part. That's why when people say that it's an ownership thing, I don't doubt that it's an ownership thing that leads to a lot of these teams. You could say that for every single team, and depending on what's going on with them, you're right. It depending on what's going on with them and how bad it is, you are absolutely correct. So um it just but you still have to look at like what are they doing on the court? What are they doing on the football field? What
Mhm.
what are the players doing? And oh my God, there's two people that I want to talk about, things that happened, and I am about to but they're both in the NFL, and you know one of them. So The other one was like so egregious. I watched the video on it, and I definitely want to talk about it. But with that, we will move on to college football.
Texas
So
A&M needs to be the number one team in the nation.
I told you I
When
told
I
you
sat there
them
and I
Texas
said,
teams, bro.
when I sat there and I said a couple of weeks ago that Ohio State pretty much got Ohio State shouldn't have been number one in that first initial one. It should have been Indiana 1, Texas A&M 2, and then Ohio State 3. But then when I saw when it came out that very next day, they still had Texas in the top 15. I was like, oh, they did that in
they
order.
was 10.
They did that in order to make sure Ohio State had the rub. How did that pan out?
Yeah.
Texas looked like a hot mess.
Yeah.
And Georgia smacked them in the mouth this week.
And Georgia's going to do that, especially if you can't win in the trenches, your offensive line versus their defense.
They said that
your offensive coordinator versus their defensive coordinator.
They said and it goes back to something that we've talked about on here. And I forgot Sarkisian had been. I remember Sarkisian when he was at USC. I did not know he had went to Washington in between there.
Yeah.
And then he was an OC over at Alabama before he took that job. They said that this is his worst running back group that he's ever had.
Yes.
There's your reason why that they're not winning right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
If they can't, and they're not even putting it on the line. They're putting it on the running backs and the quality of running backs. I've never heard Texas not having a top tier running back ever. So make that make sense that you have the top rated quarterback coming out in his class, and you didn't get a running back in his class, his high school class. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying his high school class.
Okay.
When he came in, hell nah, he's not there right now. That boy looked like a deer in headlights. He went off this at the end of that game. He didn't know if he wanted to laugh, cry, pick up a football, pick up a bowling ball, something. He was just sitting on the sideline like, what did y'all put me out here to? He was the epitome of they fed him to the wolves all season long.
And he's also the epitome of what happens when you come with hype. And unfortunately, he is now
the poster child of it.
He is now, and I know I'm probably going to catch some heat for this, but it's true. He is the Shedeur Sanders of Division I.
Yeah.
He came with a lot of hype, and everybody went, it's open season on you.
And you can't get mad, at it. You can't get frustrated at it. You just have to take it on the chin. You got to do what you got to do with it. Now,
it's also the perfect example that Shedeur wasn't the only one that it was happening to.
No.
But ain't nobody, you don't hear nobody crying no tears.
But, I hate to say it, but this is the thing. This is the microcosm of it. The whole outcry that you heard towards Shedeur was from us because we felt like they was trying to hold one of us down. And then he gets out there on the field and cue Will Smith. 4-16 yesterday.
You, God, you my boy, but it's you really just be wanting to gut punch me because you'll hit me up and be like, you finally got what you wanted. I'm like, what you talking about?
No, like, I said it for the conversation piece. I wasn't saying it for. I wasn't saying it for like you exactly, but I was like, we finally got it. We finally got it. And it was crazy because it was so sudden. Because I was watching the game and we getting off track. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. but you understand that look at the difference in the backlash and the uproar and everybody being pissed. And I actually feel okay. Let me explain before you hit me with some vitriol why I feel sorry for Mr. Manning. He actually catching nothing but boo level heat. There is nobody coming to his defense. There's nobody screaming, oh, he's being done wrong. Why are y'all feeling this way about him? Because everybody sees it. And unlike us, we could see something, and if we can use that R card, we will use it. We will use it. We will use it. You get in trouble at work for breaking the rule. Instead of taking ownership and accountability, you go, well, I only did it because I saw that person, that person, that person, that person. That person was over there doing it. What they got to do with you?
You, yeah. But that's the same people that if our kid was to come to us and say, well, only reason why I did something was because of that, be ready to break legs.
Yeah.
You know better. I ain't never taught you to be no follower. Da 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 da.
Yep. And my kids knew. I got family. I got the first three volumes of Family Guy, and I let my the mother of my two youngest boys. I let her borrow. And when she gave them back to me, kids came over for their little weekend visit, and they looked at me and was like, "Can we watch Family Guy?" I said, "No." Like, Mom, let us watch it when you let her borrow. I'm like, "Where you at?" Yo house. When has that ever worked on me? When you told me that somebody else got to do something? Never. Let that be the last time that we have this level of conversation where you think that is going to get you what you want. It's just no. You know, it's and I let them know eventually why I set those boundaries, and their behavior was part of the reason. And I told them straight up, I'm like, look, you quit going to school, making it where either me or your mom have to pick you up because of your behavior, because you don't know how to show no self-control when you get angry or when something happened that don't go your way. You show me that you can display better control of yourself, and I will consider letting you watch Family Guy. I will let you watch. If I borrow one of your mom's zombie movies, I will let you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to show me. I got to know that whatever you watch, I'm not gonna get a call from the school.
Exactly.
As you know, another example would have been like when I had my daughter and I was with her mom, and it was a WWE when it was WWF Attitude Era,
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown. I used to sit up there and do the girls' hair and be watching SmackDown. DX out there talking all crazy. Val Venus gyrating, and their grandmother she was very church going, all about it. She looked at me because she was standing in the kitchen, and I'm sitting up here doing heads. I'm laughing at the TV, and they go. She went, "You sure they should be watching that?" And I'm like, "Well, they know that if I hear them saying anything out the way that is coming from this television, that they're gonna have to see me. So no, I'm not worried about it." So, which there was an incident, and ironically, it wasn't the WWE; it was Mystical.
The
So yeah,
irony.
right. Um, that song "You Can't Handle This." You remember the chorus for it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, uh, my daughter's second oldest sister went to her grandmother's house. Um, Supposed to be hanging out with her dad, but I digress. Um, she up there playing dolls, and she would mimic whatever her mom would say to her with the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And but one other thing that she would mimic, which is where Mystical came in. You remember that chorus?
Yeah.
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 And so she comes over and she drops her back off and she goes, "Can I talk to y'all for a minute?" And I was like, yeah. And that's when she goes into the spiel, and as soon as she said the part where she was mimicking what adults say to children, I looked directly at my ex because she liked to yell at them. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the stuff that was being said was stuff that she said. And so I looked at her, and then she had what I didn't know was that Karma was about to do a
180.
yep, it was about to do that 180. And she said, we were sitting in the car, and she was sitting in the back seat, and she was like, "Oh, damn it!" And I'm like, and my ex literally looked back at me, and I'm like, "Oh, damn." So I called her in there, and she thought she was in trouble. Like I always tell you, I don't play.
Right.
So she thought she was in trouble. Like, no, 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 no. For right now, I'm in trouble. You're not in trouble this time. But if you do it again,
Then you in trouble.
then you're gonna be in trouble. And we didn't hear no more issues with it after that. But yeah, that was one of my funny, not so responsible moments where I thought that I had everything level and it was like do ow. But yeah, and that's another reason why I harp on what is the standard being set. That's why I'm so on it, because whether you're a parent, whether you're a boss at a regular job, or whether you're a boss, and if you're allowed to do your job and be a boss for any sports team, Phil, the reason why Jordan, to me, the reason why Jordan won championships was because he learned how to be the field general.
Yep.
And he let Phil help him become a better team player, especially with that triangle offense. It forced Jordan to be a team player while still giving him the ability. All right, you gonna know when to turn it on. You can still turn it on. You can still be you, but I need you to tweak it. I need you to tweak it. I need you to play with it. Remember, all these guys are out here with you. You run it once everybody goes out. But I run it in general, and I need you to. We need to be here. And a lot of people didn't like their field general. It's starting to come out. People doing tours and
That's stupid.
especially after that the Last Dance documentary, which I still haven't watched yet. I need to try to make some.
Dude.
I need to try to make some time to watch it. Do I watch? I'm I'm too mixed up with everything. It's like there's anime that I sit up there and I have not watched, and it's been on my Netflix. It's been on Tubi. It's been on Hulu, Peacock. I got I like too much stuff. I'm a sports man. I'm an anime man. I'm a movie man. I'm just I'm I don't have enough time to cover all my hobbies. I like to go to concerts, and I've missed more concerts this year than I have in years, and that's bothered me a little bit. Matter of fact, I just missed Ginger, Trivium, and somebody else,
Mm.
and so yeah, that kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but it is what it is. But it it the way all this stuff with the NBA and specifically the NFL is panning out. going circling back around so that we can move on from this one. You have to literally, objectively, and I know being objective is hard.
Yeah.
It is very, 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 very difficult. You have to objectively watch these games. You have to objectively look at these players, see what they're doing. Because I have some theories about what's wrong with a lot of the quarterbacks that are doing so horribly, both in college and in the NFL, specifically Kansas City. I think I have a piece of what the issue is. And the sad part is everybody demanded it and then they finally got it. And that is actually what seems to be Kansas City's current Achilles heel besides their offensive line. And when I say it, you're probably gonna have some pushback for me. But if you stop and think about it, it's a piece of the puzzle. It may not be the complete piece because obviously I ain't in the locker room. I don't know what the dynamic is between the players. You know, all I know is what I possibly get to see if I get to see their game on Sunday. I'm in and between watching it and watching highlights, there's something that I noticed and it bothers me. It bothers me no matter what team I'm watching. But this weekend, in terms of games, yeah, that I did catch the tail end of Arizona and UC, and like I told you, that defense. Oh yeah, my God! By the way, Michigan, congratulations, you played Northwestern.
I was waiting on you to drop that one because that one you played Northwestern and you barely beat them in a neutral site game.
And also, don't know if you noticed, but everybody since they played you has been showing you how to treat UCLA.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do myself a solid, and I'm gonna pull up. Let's see here. They lost to Utah. That's not surprising. They lost to Northwestern. Then they beat Penn State. They beat Michigan State. I don't know what's up with Michigan State. They beat Maryland. They got destroyed by. Wait a minute.
Ohio State. That was their last game. Was Ohio State.
Yeah, but I just realized I got them mixed up with USC.
Oh.
Yeah, because they haven't played Michigan.
USC, but see, USC is sneaky. I mean, USC sneakily is still in the Big Ten championship race. I was shocked when I heard that game against Oregon.
Yeah, because they snuck. They snuck and let me see. Let's go back to the other screen and actually pull up USC. Clemson's defense. Dabo better be hugging them. Better be that defense made sure that they got that win. That was a wow moment. And Wisconsin, wow. Y'all held it down to halftime. And then as soon as people kept saying, I don't understand why Mendoza just doesn't air it out. I get it, the wind and all and everything, but he needs to put that ball in the air. No sooner than they said that, and he started putting the ball in the air, the game was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
that's all I can say on that one.
I felt bad for their defense. It's like, dude, y'all put that.
You know what?
Y'all put that in.
I'm not gonna say I feel bad for their defense. Every single team that kind of showed what I was feeling about it, I'll have the same issue. Their secondaries are horrible. Their front seven, they do what they gotta do.
Yeah.
You get past their front seven, it's like running free through the fields. UC went from, you had a Thorpe cornerback of the year and a top 5 draft pick on the same defense as corners.
Mm-hmm.
And Arizona's corners made them play like they was in the NFL.
Is it just me, or did Oklahoma's, as games went forward, did Oklahoma's defense slowly improve and get better game after game after game?
Their defense is doing the same as this team that I'm wearing right now's defense. As they started to play with each other after the mass changes, they started to understand their strengths and started to play towards their strengths.
And another thing is, I think Branberry coming back helped too.
Yeah.
And because he was that not only is him coming back and just being who he is causing a problem, but also that veteran leadership. I know that's got to be helping in the locker room, especially with with Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
So let's see. Tennessee got a gimme game with that New Mexico State. That was a gimme game. I couldn't believe that they had that on the schedule. Let's see here. USC, yeah, they messed around and only lost like 2 games.
It's USC. They ain't playing nobody.
Yeah. But that's another reason why I don't like those. I don't like I know that they have to give those lower schools, they have to give them some shine, opportunity to make some money. I get it. But it people have this thing with doing their eye test and they see stuff that they shouldn't be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm one of those people. I'm a worst case scenario. I'm looking at what you're doing good. I'm looking at what you're doing bad, and whatever you're doing bad, I'm looking at any teams that you have to play and seeing what they good at and whatnot, and seeing how this can make a problem for you. That's why when we started talking about UC, I said, okay, Utah, Arizona, Kansas State. Like these teams are going to be a problem.
But what have I been saying about UC for the longest time? I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And like I said before, their defense with UC has no spine.
Oof. That's so painful.
It's not painful. I've not seen a team, the team that went to the college football playoff, you punched them in the mouth, they punched you back. They did something in order to punch you back.
Mm-hmm.
This team got punched in the mouth, or no, they act like the fake bully. They'll come out, they'll start beating you up in the beginning because they catch you off guard. They catch you when you're not paying attention. They catch you slipping. And then as soon as you get your bearings about yourself and you see how they fighting, or see what they're doing, how they're getting the advantage on you, and they turn it on you, that's how they turn the tables. And in some of those games that they won throughout that streak before now, you could tell what happened because the first half, they looked like game busters. That third quarter, every lead that they didn't had then evaporated. And then
and that makes opens up to a question. Do you think that they come out? Do you think the players come out and like use up all their
No,
energy?
no, I don't know.
That's
It
not even
comes
part of it.
No. What happens is the same thing that we talk about when it comes to players and coaches. Those coaches that sit up there in that skybox that's been watching that first half, then start to peep your tendencies of what you're doing on defense
Okay.
and what you're doing on offense.
Okay.
They might have had a game plan to where they were keying in on trying to get to the quarterback and stopping the run. Now, when they adjust as a coach for UC, you gotta know, okay, they might try to adjust now because we've been running. We done ran the ball in the first half 25 times. We've been averaging 4.7 yards a carry, and our quarterback is 15 of 17 for 170 something yards and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so which one is going to be harder for them to stop? If our line is doing what they need to do, the running game will be harder to stop. So they're going to go with what can they try to shut down? They're going to start either loading up the box or they're going to put an extra DB back there in order to cover our receivers, which should open it up. That's the things that you should be thinking about. But some of the games with UC, you can watch them when you watch them back. They'll come out and they start running the exact same script as what they did in the first half. They don't start adjusting to the adjustments until the end of the third quarter. And by that time, a 21-point lead is down to 7. Now you're trying to run the, oh, okay, well, I guess they load up the box. We can go over the top now. You didn't see that 10 game minutes ago? And that's what gets frustrating because it's like, because even as somebody watching the games, you can sit there and say, they loading up they know that they said that they don't off that defense. Arizona's defense had not allowed more than 200 yards passing in the past 6 or 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that's what they had on. So as a football person, if you know that the secondary is known to be shutting down the passing game, what are you going to do? You're going to run the ball. You've been running the ball. You have one of the highly touted running games in there. You can run the option with your quarterback. What did you do? Continue to try to throw the ball in that defense. And it got you nowhere. You couldn't do anything. Then your defensive secondary couldn't stop nobody. I've seen so many Cincinnati players get stiff armed over this weekend. I felt like I was watching somebody with a Heisman Trophy just walking down the street and just shoving the arm out and just knocking people over. It was nuts.
Speaking of, I got a question because in terms of hypocrisy in the rules and everything, I don't understand how they allow the offensive player to stiff arm you in the face mask, but the defensive player is not allowed to touch the face mask in any way, shape, or form.
The reason is that when you're taught when you're a running back or a receiver, the stiff arm is always open-handed. Just jab. It's basically teaching you how to jab. That's all you're doing when you're doing that with it. The penalties come when you jab and then you grab for it.
But I've seen them not call on that too.
Right. But if you do it right, and again, from playing, if you do it right and you got your hand to where it's a slight cup to it, to where when you stiff, if you stiff and you raise up a little bit for it, when they look at it, they're not seeing you grip the face mask or the helmet. They're just seeing that your arm is shoving them up that way for it. So you can hook your thumb underneath underneath there and push up on it. You can hook the crown of the helmet and push it up a little bit when you get a stiff arm. You just can't grab. And the crazy part about that is And I agree with you. That sucks is that on that end, the offensive player is always going to win out on that. The defensive player, as soon as they hit anywhere in the helmet, it's going to be a flag unless they're hand fighting. You're going to say illegal use of hands to the face. Okay, but he just stiff armed the shit out of me for 10 yards. What am I supposed to do? I'm trying to get his head out my face mask. I like my eyes.
Right.
Nope, you should just let it go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what we'll do, because we got a lot to talk about in the NFL, including two particular situations that went down. Like I said, one of them, which you know well.
Let's
And
let's hit the situations, because I know the first one, and the first one where if you're talking about the first one that I know you are, you dumbass.
all right. Are there any games coming on this weekend? I'm interested in the Missouri, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is definitely going to be one.
Which Louisville is going to show up against SMU?
The Louisville that lost. SMU going to beat them.
And Miami, Virginia Tech, that's USC and Oregon. Ooh.
Yeah, that's my only game I care about this weekend. Yep. Yep. I wish I had a split jersey. West Coast bias. And it's Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So I get to see that before I go see Erykah Badu. I'm happy.
Nice. The Kansas State Utah game could be interesting. Traditionally, Tennessee and Florida should be good. Never mind. Traditionally, it's been a rivalry. I don't know if it's going to be one so much this year. I know I would definitely be home for it, so I'm definitely watching it. I know I would definitely be home by then. So I'm gonna try to see how early I can get up, so I can try to spend as much time as I can out working the BYU UC.
Why are you worried about it? BYU?
Okay, because the way BYU has been playing, UC actually has a chance to win this game.
They don't.
Yes, they do. Have you been watching BYU? BYU has been winning games that it was completely possible that they could have lost, which we're gonna do a lot of talking about that when we switch over to the NFL, because I got a beef with some people about another particular person that they are now trying to hype up, and I had an issue talking about him last week, but now they're gonna actually make me delve in. They actually made me delve into it today, because I'm so details are important. Is gonna be the premise of that. Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech, depending on that, could be a good one.
Pittsburgh's not going to be ranked. Well, Pittsburgh might keep their ranking but Pittsburgh didn't look too hot against. Neither team looked too hot their last game. Go Georgia Tech. Boston College gave Georgia Tech a run for their money on Saturday, and it took Georgia Tech. I love Georgia Tech's coach. I love him to death. When they came out there to interview him, they was like, "You can smile." He said, "For what? After that game? We won. I'm not happy." That's my type of coach. That's my type of coach.
And those coaches are the ones that usually catch heat from the pundits.
Why?
Because you have to care about the players' feelings, and you don't want to upset the players.
They are at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they sat there and they said that on the broadcast, that what that man has done with the stringent admissions requirements at Georgia Tech and their grade point average they have to maintain in order to be there, to make that team and to get the people that he recruited that were both athletes and students and to make them into what that is, that's the epitome of what you should be wanting to come out of your school, coming through your school, not what you should be sitting up there like, well, he need to be nicer to my son. I can't help it that your son is a dumber than a box of rocks, but he can play football real well. So when he gets into the league in 10 years, and after a couple of injuries in 6 years, you sitting up here as his mama that sat there and said, well, you should have pushed him more when he was in school. No, you told me to be nice. Now y'all both broke.
That's what ends up being the reality of it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I'm like, it is what it is with that one. But definitely USC Oregon, I'm definitely on that one. I'm gonna be tapped in watching some of the highlights because I'll be out during the Pittsburgh Georgia Tech game. The trap game that I think that everybody needs to really be kind of paying attention to: Kansas State, Utah, and Kentucky Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Them two games, them are completely trap games.
And Michigan needs to watch out for Maryland too, especially the way they playing.
Yeah. So those trap games definitely.
All right, and with that, we finally getting into the the NFL. I'm afraid to ask, but do you have our picks currently sitting somewhere within?
Yes, I actually do.
How did we do?
You actually did. Let me. You know what? I did send myself. I did kind of save it back into the thing. And I meant to send it to you. But based off our picks right now, not a bad week. You are 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 7-2, 8-2, 9-2, 10-2, 10-3, 10-4.
Which 4 did I lose? Oh my God, that Lions game! I got beef. God, yes, I'm glad we got to this. I got a lot to talk. I want to talk about
both lost
that Lions game.
We both lost that Lions game.
And once again, and I keep trapping myself and not making the decision. I keep trapping myself and not making a decision. I was not completely confident on that Lions pick, and we made the agreement, and I still haven't used it. I'm gonna start making sure that I make an attempt to use it, because
I'm wearing them because
we get to that game.
I'm wearing them because they earned it to me. They ran the ball when they needed to. They passed when they needed to. But their defense showed up yesterday. Except for Jahmyr Gibbs.
That wasn't hard. That
Why did they stop running with Jahmyr Gibbs?
Because they had to put everything on Goff. Knowing his doggone history, that you put everything on him, you ain't winning the game. Especially when the offensive line is having a day. Every time they ran, they did not try to run up the middle, whether it was Montgomery or especially if it was Gibbs. Positive yardage. And that's what I be talking about when I say, why didn't they run? If they spent the whole game trying to run up the middle, knowing doggone well from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, up the middle ain't working. Try off tackle. There was one where Gibbs got himself caught because he was running too close to the offensive lineman.
Yeah, that one where he got tackled, where the lineman came down the line and tackled him.
Yeah,
on that 4th and 1. Yep. I think one of the biggest headaches though was, and I'm not trying to give Detroit an excuse, was that win was atrocious. That win was disrespectful. Oh my God, that win was
Yeah,
disrespectful.
well, if it hadn't been for Williams, 2 weeks in a row, same penalty. He didn't do it in the same way. Oh, well, I can't dunk on the goalpost, so I'll just run up to it and I'll wrap my legs and my arms around it. Yeah, because nobody in the history of the NFL has been penalized for that.
Didn't Tyreek Hill get penalized for that a couple of years ago with Miami? I want to say he did the exact same thing.
There's been a few wide receivers that have been penalized over the history. I can't remember exact names, but I know for a fact that quite a few, whether it's the going up and dunking the ball, hell, Travis Kelce has been penalized more than once for that one.
Right.
And but the one just running up to the goalpost and just acting like you jumping in somebody's arms and just wrapping your arms and your legs around it. Yeah, that's definite. You're getting a flag.
And and to me, it's like I can't even get. I've been saying it for the longest time. Stop being selfish.
And his reaction to it pissed me off even more. They penalized him on the field goal. They missed the field goal, and he was just like, "Whatever, not my fault."
No, he said my bad. He's because Campbell looked back at him and they showed Campbell look back at him. He was like, "My bad. I'm sorry." For it.
Okay,
And for me, that's a fine. That's a fine. That's a fine when we get back. You cost us a point. Which
cost you that point. And Dan Campbell going for it on fourth. How many times do you have to go for it on fourth before you see you ain't gonna get it and stop?
That's the thing. He couldn't kick. They were showing to where kickers from outside of 35 yards, they could kick the ball 5 yards outside the left upright, and the ball was curving all the way over to the right.
No, and okay, so I get that. Punt the ball.
It's the same way with the punts. The same thing that happened there was the same thing. Remember, if you watch the Baltimore,
Philly didn't seem to have an issue punting
because they're used to that stadium. You got to think about it. Detroit's a dome. They don't have to deal. They kicker don't know how to adjust.
Their kicker just ain't that good.
Right.
That kicker just ain't that good.
Because wait a minute, who else is in? The only two places that they play outdoors and in their conference is Chicago, and I think they called Chicago early in the season. I don't think they play at Chicago yet. And then Green Bay. But even the winds in Green Bay ain't as bad as they are up in that Northeast.
And the reason why I'm not giving them a pass on the way the winds was going, that's awful funny. In the fourth quarter, halfway through, you seem to know how to punt every time after that. Like, why couldn't you have done it earlier? Did the winds all of a sudden change?
I'm not saying for all of them.
The winds went. Oh well, it's the game's almost over, guys. All right, guys, let's calm it down. Down a bit. And every time it hit fourth and whatever in the fourth quarter, with about 6 minutes left, all of a sudden he knew how to punt. All of a sudden, it's like, why are we waiting until the fourth quarter? You had 3 other quarters where you also could have. And matter of fact, the field goal. They also went for a field goal. There was times. I'm sorry. You're at the 15. You're like at the. They might have been at like, I want to say they were at like the 11-yard line somewhere. I know they were inside the 20, inside the 15, somewhere in there, somewhere between the 15 and the 10, and they went for it on fourth.
Did they throw the ball on any of those fourth down conversions?
All of them. Well, most of them.
I thought it was at least. Okay. Again, why didn't they give it to Gibbs?
Well, they gave it to Gibbs, but they ran it up the middle instead of running off the edges like they did every other play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It came down. Campbell cost them a lot on that game. Campbell cost them a lot. Because when Gibbs was getting his holes, he was gashing them. But you knew you couldn't throw the ball. That game was just about as bad as him playing.
Well, Goff under pressure.
That's why I said that defense. That
Goff,
defense had Goff off of his rocker. He was doing one Mississippi, two
yeah,
Mississippi
the
ball guys.
wind, the wind didn't have nothing to do with it. No, let me rephrase. That was completely wrong. That was completely wrong. The wind was a part of the picture, but the problem was him under pressure. That's the way he throws.
Yeah.
And
As
if
long
you
as
add
it's
wind to it, it makes it worse.
even worse. It made it catastrophically worse because that was bad.
He cannot be under pressure. He was holding on to the ball too long. And for Christ's sake, and I'm saying it again, I've been saying it all season. If you know you got if you know this is a twofold thing, actually. Last I checked, is it aren't the receivers supposed to look and look at the defense and try to see if they can figure out what's being ran and what's potentially about to come at their quarterback and adjust their route? I seem to notice that no matter who the team is, no matter how, which ain't no team like, well, there are some teams that are consistently good, but no team seems to be showing me this, especially on blitzes, the ability to know what's going on and cut short your route so that your quarterback can get rid of the ball, or if you have a short route to come back to the ball to you don't hardly see it. I feel like you don't see it as much as you should, and this is also hurting quarterbacks.
It's making it to where they got when they sit up there and they're doing this stuff and they have that situation with it to where I understand most of the time they only going to where their routes are going. That's it. They if it's an option route, then that's when they have the ability to adjust in order to make themselves open. The only times where they really break off is when they hit scramble drill, when they notice the quarterback is out of the pocket. But if you know for a fact that you can see a blitz coming, or you see a blitz lined up off the corner for it, you need to be screaming. Like, hey, corner, 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 corner. Just so they can look up and either slide protection that way or know that they need to be watching it so a running back can come over and chip on that side before they go on their route. But the
Yeah,
rest of
well,
that,
yeah, well, yeah, that one play that Montgomery just got.
blown up. Jesus Christ, did he get detonated?
Which was trying to come over. I don't like shifts. Stuff like that is why I don't like shifts. When you are playing a team that they got monsters within that front seven, I hate shifts because shifts make even the best of players look horrible. Make even the best of offensive linemen. You have to be either A1 plus 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 to pull it off. And if you only one plus, you in trouble because you're not gonna get over there in time. So if you less than A or A plus, the last thing I want you doing is shifting anywhere. If anything, everybody shift over so that whoever's on that side, there is no need for a shift because there's somebody right there that could take on that person the best they can.
But they was missing their best. They
Mm,
was missing their other blocker though. That would have did it. Laporta, with Laporta being out, that was they chipper. So it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
that messed them up too with
and
it.
yeah, good. I mean, good Lord, that. And but then that would have also been another reason, as we talked about, because unless they tried to run up the middle, I don't remember Gibbs and I don't remember Gibbs and Montgomery losing much in terms of yardage. If they got over on the edges, they was getting at least 3-4 yards.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, that just the play calling, the going for it on fourth when you saw it clearly wasn't working. And like
It
I
was a
said,
lot of things. It was a lot of things. I want to see that matchup again in the playoffs, just to see if it. I want to see it again because to me, I think second go round it could possibly be different, but in that same instance of what I saw from that game yesterday and from that Rams Seattle game yesterday is to where I'm like,
I defense is gonna help somebody win a
defense
Super
is
Bowl
going
this
to
year.
win. Defense is going to win somebody a championship this year because you got a lot of you don't even. Who can we sit there and say as a quarterback right now has that steel metal that doesn't get rattled with whatever's thrown at them? Because you got to think about the invincibles that we said that we used to have on there. Mahomes showed it yesterday. He was rattled. And that offensive line is not where it needs to be.
Okay. We bringing it up. You want to what's the difference? What's the difference between the championship years, even if you only want to pick last year? What's the difference between what Kansas City is now and what they were before?
Running game. At least a semblance of a running game.
Okay. What else?
And their defense.
Yeah, but when the defense is spending so much time on the field, like me and you done talked about, I don't care how good you are. The more you spend time, and because of the way the offense is playing, those guys ain't spring chickens.
No.
If anybody needs to spend less time on the field so that when they're on the field, they can go all out like we're used to seeing them do, it's Kansas City. Now, everybody, I kept shaking my head no, so I wasn't included in this. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, they need a dynamic play. They need some down the field weapons. They need some down the field weapons. They need some down the field weapons. Oh, they got down the field weapons. Now it's gonna be no, you actually messed everything up. Because now all of your receivers don't do the routes that the
They have
other
no route runners.
that the other route runners, because they didn't have the speed that you had, so that Mahomes could quickly get the ball out to make things difficult on those defenses, because we saw defenses used to try to come in him, but he didn't have down the field speed, so everybody had short routes. And if you sneak Travis Kelce in there, boom. So you got a whole bunch of people that you gotta try to fend for and figure out, and you got Travis Kelce in there to make your life a nightmare. Now everybody going downfield, except for Kelce and Gray. Okay, we can cover them too.
And here's the thing. Even when he had the deep shot weapons, that was his go route weapons, when he had Tyreek Hill, when he had Sammy Watkins for a time frame, when he had who else was there?
Yeah, but Sammy Watkins wasn't consistent, and he usually came through on like the short routes.
Right. But anybody that he had on an intermediate to goal route caught the ball. You have pretty much now for Kansas City, you have the same type of wide receiver at every single one of your positions.
And
Go route.
that is what their problem is.
Yep.
Because just like any other, you got to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on with the quarterback as much as you can when you watch them drop back. If they sitting up here looking downfield, knowing doggone well that the front seven is trying to come after them, you literally are setting them up for failure. Because Golf was in trouble. Because you know what I tell you I do, and I did it last night, and I came to realize part of me thought that Jared Goff initially was holding on to the ball too long because of the way I was counting and the way I was looking and paying attention. But then when I actually focused on the game, didn't do nothing else, didn't look at nothing else, and I went 1,000, 2. In the middle of getting to 2, there was already a guy coming free off of a lineman chasing him.
Mm-hmm.
So no, so he ain't got time. So you need to that makes it even more important. Even if you only get 2-3 yards, you need them to understand that I'm gonna run the ball for 4 quarters.
And it's crazy because if you really sit there and you think about the mapping of what the teams that were successful yesterday did,
they stuck with the run game.
Stuck with the run game. The only team that didn't stick with the run game, but they kind of stuck with the run game and it got them over was Buffalo. Because they running game also included their running back, they quarterback.
Yeah.
But even Baltimore's game against Cleveland, I will call it plain as day. If Dylan Gabriel would have stayed healthy, Baltimore would have lost that game. Because that defense was giving Baltimore fits. You could not drop back and pass because Myles Garrett was somewhere in the area. You couldn't run the ball because the rest of that defensive line was coming through there and stuffing them.
And could you imagine what would have happened for some other team and their defense if when Cleveland looked at him and said, I will give you more money if you stay, he said, respectfully, no thanks. And he went somewhere else? Can you imagine what?
I have. I've imagined it.
Oh, my God.
I've imagined it. But it's like, I can't even. Now I'm at a point. Now I'm at a point now to where, again, anger, apathy. I said last week, I'm apathetic to it. You chose this. So you can't get mad when you get to the end of your career. We can honestly sit there and say, with the numbers that he's putting up, and he will probably continue to put up with there, he's going to be in the conversation with the Reggie Whites, the Lawrence Taylors on defense in there for it. But the only difference between him and them, they at least got one. You got the money, but you ain't get one. You can sit there and dress up all you want to on Halloween, put all the headstones, have the jacket with all the Hall of Fame quarterbacks that you sacked, and you will probably join them in the Hall of Fame. But you always are going to have that asterisk of being loyal to a fault.
Yep.
And I can't. And you know what? And I know I went on a rant last week about it. I'm gonna applaud him this week with what he said post game. Because post game, Shedeur came in there and was going up to his teammates. And this is, again, I know I have been saying, and I'm glad that I watched what you said that Cam Newton said on First Take about the situation, or I might have saw it myself. Cam Newton sat there and said something, and if you haven't seen it, so Cam was on First Take today, and he said this was not a decision that was made because it was for the betterment. It was made because Stefanski was forced to do it. He didn't have nobody else. And from what he was showing, and Cam went on the rant that I've been saying, it's not about the fact of can he do it or not. It's about the fact of everybody that's been yelling for him has been basing it off of the fact of what he showed against the competition that he did in college. I've been basing it off of what I saw in college and the fact that he had not taken no first team snaps. What quote coach is going to put their player out there that has not taken no first team snaps? What backup quarterback do you know, have you ever heard of, that never took no first team snaps during a week of preparation, knowing good and damn well in this league, how many starting quarterbacks have went out this season? So you mean to tell me
there are situations where they might have took some snaps, but if there was like 20 of them, they might have took 5 or less. So
Cam
then
said that when he had Derek Anderson as his backup on that interview, he said Ron Rivera purposefully gave him at least 12 snaps with the first team during the week so he could know the basic calls for what was going in for that week. Every week. So you fed that young man, and I've been saying it. It was going to be something to where that young man was going to get fed to the wolves, and he was going to get out there, and it wasn't going to look good. And then it was going to immediately, for everybody that was on the other side of the fence, like he ain't ready, it was going to be, aha, I told you so. And you've been saying it,
and for me, I said I don't want him starting in Cleveland.
Right.
I don't want him starting at all. I want him somewhere because, I mean, let's be honest. Name a quarterback. I will give you Bernie Kosar. I will give you Baker Mayfield. Now name me another quarterback that looked like they flourished worth anything in Cleveland. I'll give you Bernie, and I'll give you basically showing my age, and I will give you Baker.
Nobody.
And that's why I did not want him to start there.
Right. But
and
now
it's
now it's not going to be a choice.
Right. And now I hope he does. I hope all the stuff, all the hype off of what he was doing with the backups, I hope he's able to do something close to it so that people can at least see if he has potential. Because there's been plenty of quarterbacks that were just on teams that just, it wasn't.
Never got a chance to. Yeah, they never got a chance to show anything.
But you could tell that they had a little something. It was just, man, if they weren't on this team, maybe they could be something. I see a little potential there, something that could turn into something. But part of their issue is where they at. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, the only one at the end of the day, and this is sad to say, because this also goes back to my knock against black scrambling quarterbacks. Out of all the quarterbacks that have been deemed not so great, which one is doing the weakest that's starting right now?
Cam Ward.
No, not rookie, veteran.
Geno?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can tell me whatever you want about the dazzlement of the scrambling quarterback and just give him a chance, just get him in the right place. Okay, he was in Seattle, and even though Sam has had a bad game, why? Because you cannot. Even that coach better know. Just like golf, you can't put everything on golf. You can't put everything on Josh Allen. You can't put everything on Darnold. You had Charbonnet. You have Charbonnet. You have Kenny Walker, and nobody was out hurt, bro. You better be sprinkling some running, and you better be doing it for 4 quarters. And you got 2 running backs that could be a problem for a defense. So you ain't got no excuses.
Where to go? I'm going to pull that back up because I saw it and I just was like, "Are you serious?" When it came to it.
And I gotta, while you're looking that up, I got a beef for the people sitting up here. Don't get me wrong. For the teams he is playing, their record to be what it is, he does deserve some kudos. But let's not turn this into a give him kudos, but not glorification. And I'm gonna break it down slowly. Why? One, they split with a trying to figure it out at quarterback Vikings. They lost week 1. They barely won week 2. I mean, they barely won on the second go round. The teams that they have gone on this big winning streak against, besides Minnesota, the Giants. Gee, what is the Giants' record right now? 2-9. Okay. The Bengals, who should have beat them. No question, should have beat them. The Giants should have beat them. The Bengals should have beat them. But things happened, and bottom line, they didn't. I get it. But let's look at the Bengals record. Oh, 3-7.
3-7.
Okay. Next up, the Ravens. The Ravens are 5-5. Oh, they lost. Okay. The Saints. Gee, I wonder what the Saints record is. Well, will you look at that? 2-8. Are you seeing a pattern yet? We got the Commanders. The Commanders, between the line and the age of the defense, added to some unfortunate inconsistency because you were hoping that it was going to turn into something huge and be a problem for the Philadelphia Eagles, but it didn't. Oh, hey, they're 3-8. Oh, I digress. And now here comes those Raiders. Oh, those powerful Raiders, the silver and black. What? 2-7. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And the Cowboys. And out of all those games, how many games do you think that they won by big numbers if you weren't looking at it?
None.
2. There was 2 games that they won by a huge margin. And that was the Cowboys. We watched that game. We saw what that was. I don't think that they would do that again against the even if they hadn't gotten these recent defensive plays. I don't think that they would do what they did against Dallas, even without the recent picks possibly coming in. So and then the Saints, they held both the Saints and the Cowboys to 14 points. Meanwhile, they scored either 31 or 26. Everybody else, they could have lost every single one of them games against those teams. So I will give him kudos for, at the end of the day, being a part of the reason why they pulled it out. But we all know that the defense being really consistent and really a problem, the problem that I thought that they were going to be from the beginning of the season. But apparently, but apparently a lot of defenses, and this is true, and you could correct me if you feel I'm wrong. Not every defense fits it, but a lot of defenses, most defenses, they go the way that the offense goes.
Yeah. Except for the Bengals.
Right. So They are definitely lower on the totem pole than a lot of the teams that I'm talking about. But that's also what's contributing to the, oh my God, what is going on with my picks? What is going on with people's bets? What is going on with people's predictions weekly of who gonna win games? Besides the fact of that's my team, rah rah rah.
And it's when we have that conversation when we're talking about that. I'm not knocking Chicago for what they're doing. I'm never going to knock them for it. But the only thing that I always come back to is how unpredictable the NFL is.
Oh, and the NFL, the NFL is like I told you a couple weeks ago. I feel like um uh I don't know how they pulled it off. You could tell me if I'm wrong. But you know the way everything played out for the NBA in terms of like uh being on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember hearing about the NFL specifically doing anything specific to make that
Mm-mm.
happen, but somehow it happened, especially this year.
I think what you're seeing is you're seeing the confluence of a lot of bad decisions from teams that we used to have faith in, and a lot of teams that we used to didn't have faith in, stripping it down to the studs and starting to rebuild into something. We couldn't have said 2 or 3 years ago that Detroit would be an upper echelon team. We knew they was going to be okay, but once they added Gibbs, they got Montgomery in free agency. Amon Ross started to really step into his own. They drafted Laporta, and they drafted Jameson Williams. They turned into that. Then Aiden Hutchinson dropped into their lap. They started to rebuild that defense. They had OGs on that defense, and they actually taught their defense how to play defense. So when they OGs started to age out, leave, go for greener pastures, where they thought they had people that was coming up behind them that learned from them and could mimic it. So they decided to grow. Then on the flip side of it, you have a Baltimore. Baltimore their defense was, we got Kyle Hamilton, we got Patrick Queen, we can put wherever we need to. We the Baltimore Ravens, we gonna roll out there and everybody gonna fear us. Realistically right now, whose defense do you fear more right now? Baltimore's or Cleveland's?
Oh, I got a list.
I know, but between them two.
Oh, for sure. Obviously Cleveland's.
Right.
Is you'd be insane even if they weren't, even last year, if you had asked me that question I would have told you the same thing, because Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett, and you must know where he is. You must know that you can run your offense and yet still be able to protect your quarterback and your running back in the backfield from him.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that is close
but you can't really protect
on the front seven. Yeah, no. And because him being what he is makes it, when the rest of the people around him are motivated and they're dialed in, that makes them dangerous too. So it's like you have no choice. You have to guard him one-on-one, because if you try to double team him, you're gonna let one of his boys loose. Which, that's another thing about Kansas City's defense that has been a problem. Whatever's going on with Chris Jones, He is no longer, from what I'm noticing, when I am able to watch a game, and sometimes
He's not.
they
He's
pointed out
aging
you
out.
don't have to you don't have to double team him anymore.
No, he's aging out.
And if you don't have to double team him anymore, that makes the offense not performing up to par even a bigger problem in what you're seeing. And I'm sorry, I still say it. I know you have speedy receivers, but why is it? And I love these people. I love you. I love you all. And I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna jump in the group, and I'm gonna say this again. I love when I'm proven right. Not just because not just because it's fun to be right, but because I take this seriously. When I make my comments about what I say about certain things, I take it seriously. Why is it? And I remember me and you having this going back and forth about this last year, and you gave me a little kickback. But I need to know if you've really been paying attention. Why every time AJ Brown complained about not getting the ball, and I said you need to change up his routes instead of just sending him deep all the time. Change up his routes, have him do it maybe a 5 yard out, maybe a 7 yard out, maybe a 10 yard out, and come across the field. Why does he have to wait until he complains and a bad black light is being shined on Philly before somebody running the offense has him do that stuff? You're getting him the ball, you're moving the ball, he's happy, you're happy, voila. I've been watching for years whether the wide receiver complained about it or he didn't. If you were really trying to get him into the offense, you changed up his routes. This is why it takes two. The OC can call the route, but you have to be able to run it. That's two. You get at the contract table, you got the person with the contract saying, this is what I want to give you. You go, okay, I'll be more better here. And them two going, you're there. What's the difference? Is he worth that difference? Everything seems to say that he's worth that difference. Don't take all day because he ain't the only one that you got to do. Figure it out right there. Move on. Don't take weeks. Don't take months. Don't take all of the off season. Don't take all of training camp and preseason. But what drives that instance is that people I'm drawing my line in the sand. It's non-negotiable. This is where I want to be, and that's where I'm staying. And then they go, well, I mean, we got to look at this, and we got to look at the future, and we got to look at some people coming around the bend. So we here and we ain't moving, and everybody stands there on a hill with their flag. Meanwhile, the team is down there in the middle, like, you know the season about to start, right? Not to interrupt either one of you. No offense. Just the season's about to start. We might want to get this together. And that's another reason why I take my stance on I don't care who's at fault. You got two people and everybody got their flag and nobody's willing to move. Nobody's willing to move an inch. But it's going to take both of you to fix the problem. That's why I blame both. You can have your reasons, and that can be your stance, and you can both have a point, and I can fully accept that. But I'm still gonna say, at the end of the day, it's both of you to blame. He has a business he has to run. He has to look out for the bottom line. He has a job to do in terms of making sure that the numbers don't get too murky, just because there is a cap don't mean you want to get close to it. What if something happens and you need to make another move, but you can't because you done paid everybody and you right at the cap and you can't switch nothing around because they're not going to take a pay cut, they're not going to take a restructuring because they want their money, which is one of the things that one of the reasons why I've argued not necessarily in the owner's favor, but I'm saying they not the only people that need to be sitting on the witness stand like, what the hell are you doing? Make sure that everybody get what they want and as much as possible and walk away happy. Now, obviously, in the game of life, the person with the most power is going to win out whenever, more than likely. Because even if you go to another team, how many players go to other teams and they pan out? You go to another team trying to get to a championship and it pans out. Don't matter how big your star is, how small your star is. You want a championship, you go to another team thinking I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna make it. There's been a lot of stars, a lot of okays, and a lot of they thought that they was okay, but they really wasn't it. They've all tried to do it. And the numbers ain't in your favor. And that's why the owners will always win out.
And it's like now, when it comes to AJ Brown's situation, and I said it's gonna take Lori to get involved for it to come to an end. And what happened? He had the one little conversation that they had in front of his locker. He went on a live when he was playing Madden. He sat there and said, "Shoot, if I was on your fantasy league, I would sit me too. I've been playing shitty all year." And right when he did that, when Lori was like, "Hey, come into my office tomorrow. We need to talk." And the next thing you heard him say was, "I'm not gonna talk about it no more. I'm good. It is what I'm saying. I'm being a distraction. I'm cool. I'm not trying to do that. We're trying to win and go back to back." I wish a lot of owners would step up and say that. We got owners that don't say shit. We got owners that do everything except for address the situation.
Right. But the other thing that you saw, like I said, they switched up his routes so that he could get more balls.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I was worried about because they was targeting him so much, I'm like, please, for the love of God, Devontae Smith, please don't. Even if I see you have a point, for God's sake, please don't. Get it in the locker room. Tell everybody to put their phones, have security stand in front of the locker room door, sit everybody's phones outside the locker room, and sit there in the locker room with whoever you want to see, or everybody go up to Mr. Lori's office and tell everybody, "Hey, security, watch these phones." Boom. And if there's any reporters around that just happen to see it, "Hey guys, everybody was in Mr. Lori's office." And they put the cell phones outside the door. "So what you guys talk about?" "Oh, we just needed to have lunch. We wanted to make sure that there was no distractions." "What you talk about?" "Oh, well, I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about my family and what I wanted to do for the future. And yeah, we did. We talked about the next game that was coming up. We mostly just hung out." Now, as I always talk about, you can run with whatever you want to run with. You can say, "Oh, well, there must be a problem," but you'll never know. It takes two to make something work, no matter what it is. At a job, it takes two, or it takes the group. It takes the group pulling together to make everything work. Me and you make this podcast work because we're both on the same page. Even though technically it's mine, I don't treat it as it's mine. Whatever I want to happen, it goes. I'm always
Yeah.
asking you, hey, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to add? Is there anything I can do to improve? Is there any place that you know of where we can make this where I'm actually in a studio and not doing it from my house? Uh, I I don't have the reputation of being like that, but truth be told, how I actually feel and how I actually want to always be, whether I actually get to be that way or not. I always want to be about peace, trying to make things work as peacefully and as painlessly as possible. Because that more often than not, like me and you talk about, you could talk about all the people that's got all the flash, but it's the people that that's got all the flash, that's got all the sizzle, but it's the people with the fundamentals that's doing the most. Oh, look at how he can run. He's such a dynamic quarterback. Lamar Jackson. Yeah. How many Super Bowls he got? Well, it takes a team, but wait a minute. When you was trying to glorify him, it was all about him leading the team, and he's number one. And as long as they got him, they can't be stopped. But according to reality, he could be stopped. Not only can he be stopped, but anybody else on his team that ends up taking the blame, because you don't want to put any of the blame on him, even if he has a fumble, even if he throws an interception. Oh, well, that happened like in the first quarter. So it happened. Y'all blaming Mark Andrews for slipping on ice because, yeah, don't nobody slip on ice, especially not on the football field.
I mean, he had on cleats.
Now you being
Let
petty.
me
You
flip
did that
it.
on purpose. You being petty. You did that on purpose.
Of course I did. Should have They should have slipped. He had on cleats, damn it.
He ruined it. He ruined it for
He ruined the
for our
game.
quarterback. And don't get me wrong, that was a part of the reason why they lost. But there was 3 quarters. There was 4 quarters of game that in the playoffs, pressure bust pipes. He don't look as good, and I love it when people actually admit it. He don't look as good in the postseason as he does during the regular season. And if it's anybody else that was like that, you let them have it. Dak, Romo, 2 people immediately off the cuff. Oh yeah, they're great during the regular season, but playoffs, we ain't worried. They ain't going nowhere.
It's
But
like
you say that about Lamar, people want your head.
Of course. But you can't. But you have to call. Everybody has to sit there based off that game yesterday. Lamar looks like a shell of himself. If it wasn't for, realistically, if it wasn't for 2 plays, they would have lost that game. If it wasn't for Henry breaking that run, and then if it wasn't for Mark Andrews taking that Philly that tush push as a bootleg and running it downfield for the touchdown to win the game.
Oh, the tush push.
That's what it was supposed to be, but they audibled out of it and they made it go around the end because they did what, oh my God, coaches that watch this play and want to emulate it can sit there. You can make an entire part of your playbook off the tush push. Legitimately. Because with everybody crammed in like that, if you was to sit there and come up to the line and get ready to go, Ray said 12, 12, 12, and back out and have everybody trying to run and scramble into a position after that fact, you got the defense on their heels before you even snap the ball. Or, like he did, everybody squunched in there for it. All he did was do a bootleg off tackle. He hit that same before that tackle was nobody out there. And this is not a running back. This is not a wide receiver. This is their tight end. and he was pulling away from people because he had a 5 to 7 yard head start before they even turned to start running. It was brilliant.
All right. Speaking of the tush push, they've been speculating during games because they noticed that where they were expecting the tush push, they noticed that they're not running it anymore.
No.
I have a partial theory on why that might be.
Why do you think? Because I know
Ever,
why I think it.
ever since they really started deep diving into what those offensive linemen are doing during the tush push, and
Mhm.
they came to realize that some of them offensive linemen was jumping off early, and
Uh-huh.
they started calling it. All of a sudden, Philly wasn't so eager to run the tush push anymore.
Is
And to me, it was a smart move because it was a smart move because you see that okay, they didn't caught on to that we got some cracks and deficiencies in terms of our linemen being disciplined, and it's costing us yardage. So yeah, let's let them think we're gonna do the tush push, and let's kind of slowly back away from it because the dynamic drop, even if that's not the complete reason, you're not gonna tell me it's not part of it.
no, it's multifold.
Okay.
First one is their linemen are hurt. Lane Johnson just went out with a Liz Frank injury. They're not gonna put him on IR yet, but he might be going on IR, which will put him out until the end of the year.
That's because he keep trying to play and
Right. But
wait,
that's what I'm
sit
saying.
down.
Right. But what I think it's him. I think their guard was out too with an injury. So you don't have your normal group of horses that's out there that know to play, that know how to do it on a regular basis. Plus, you don't know if them doing that is the cause of that injury. That Liz Frank injury, with you being on your toes trying to push off and you down in that stance like that for it, somebody pushing back on you, that could cause that. So you have to start taking into account of that. Then on the other side of that, you have it to where what happened when Philadelphia, when they won the Super Bowl against New England and they ran the Philly special? What did everybody try to do right after that? They tried to have a Philly special play. Everybody tried at least a little bit. Imitation is the best form of flattery. And they could do it because most of the time they had an athletic quarterback in order to do it. Shit, Brady tried it too. I'm just saying. But, right. But then on the flip side of it, how many teams have actually been able to be successful with doing the tush push? Buffalo. You saw Seattle running it, but Seattle was running it with their tight end.
Right.
It wasn't even with their quarterback.
Right.
You see variations of it, but nobody seems to be able to get it right.
Because
so that's when
part of it is having your line, but
right.
But
the other part of it is what they got exposed with. They knew the one team that knows the snap count and knows how to go a half a second or so before it is the offensive line. So if it wasn't for the cameras on that downward angle or down the lines that was sitting up there timed up to when it said hike and could see that somebody was moving before there, would we have ever known?
No. Well, we wouldn't have known officially because there was players that was screaming it. They had been screaming it all last year. They were like, "Hey, they moved. Hey, they moved," and nobody would listen to them because they didn't believe them. The refs didn't see it, so it was like,
I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why it's became more of a it's been more visual than it ever has before. The visual line of game mark, the virtual line of game markers. Remember, they got rid of the chain game. It's all virtual now. So it's all just a laser pointer going across that field, across there, and a camera. So as soon as that ball is moved, as soon as that ball is snapped, it's taking those shots right down the line where that tip of that football is. So now you got a camera on there at all times. easier to catch it. So now, okay, our secret's out. Now we can sit there and say, okay, let's run a play. Let's sit up there and say, okay, if they showing that they got us, they about to attack us when we come in there for it. Now we can audible out of it. Or we can have variations of it. That's what I want to see it. I want to see the variations that come out of it now. Because you might not run it all the time, but you got it in your back pocket and everybody still fears it. So what do you do now? The best play that I've ever seen done off of that, besides Andrews, is that tush, the act like you're going for that tush push, and then do a running back pitch. What's that look on your face?
I'm hoping this is just AI.
What?
I'm about to turn the volume up on my phone because I see something and it looks clickbaity. So it's kind of annoying me that I'm
It's
so
probably
intrigued by it.
clickbaity.
But it's got my boy on it. And at the end of the day, I know he over there with Dion, but he's still my boy. So
So let's go. If you can be in great shape at 54:30, nobody from ground up and up and up. No, we up there. We up there, nice and high. We go right. Let's go.
I gotta see if I can. It was Warren Sapp. He was talking about a player, that he basically told him that if he couldn't get his weight down below 315, he wasn't gonna play for him. And the kid got down to 305. So so I gotta see if I can find that so I could get some context of what that was about. But just looking at it and reading the words, it was like, okay, that don't seem very cool. But now I get it. Setting a standard. There you go. Setting a standard. Setting a
Right.
standard and requiring whoever is all right, so because it's starting to get kind of late. Let's go ahead and get into the two other incidences I want to talk about before we start talking about picks. Um, Obviously it's been official. I did eventually find it because I had somebody post like hours ago that Jamar had been suspended, but I didn't see anything on it until like
It happened
maybe
right about
5 o'clock.
4:45, 5 o'clock when it first came
Yeah,
out. And he's
yeah.
already appealed it.
Yeah, and I saw that. Well, he how you gonna dispute the video? What was that?
I'm going to say it to where
He can appeal it all he want.
the only reason why I can't, and I'm not making an excuse for it at all, because it seems like it was a spit. There's no way around it for it. The only thing that I could even remotely sit up there and say, because they was John, was that it flew out of his mouth. Because you can't zoom in. It's not like the one from the beginning of the season where you saw him go and start and go directly toward it. The camera angle was actually from channel 19 that got submitted. It was a local station that submitted it against Jamar, saying, I got footage right here. Here it is. And sat there and showed it, which that's going to be interesting because Channel 19 is supposed to be the official home of the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're supposed to have ties into everything for the Bengals here. So I wonder how that's going to go across in the locker room after the fact. But I digress. You see it fly out of his mouth to him. Now, he's sitting up there. He been adamant saying, I didn't do it. That's not in my demeanor. And to his case, he sat there and said he's never had any instances to where it's been like that in his demeanor for it. But the view is the view of it.
Right.
So
And that's the problem. It's like you could say it didn't happen, but when they basically what you saying is this, and this is another reason why I don't like AI. Is that gonna be his defense?
No, it's not. Because it was too quick of a response. That was too quick. That would have been one of the greatest AI edits that I've ever seen. For it to
Right.
turn around, because that was out before the end of the game.
No. What I'm saying is that gonna be his defense? What is the
No,
point of appealing this?
no. I think one is costing them almost $500,000 to miss
Yeah,
that game.
but
Yeah, I get that, but it's still
if you on
happening.
camera and you get seen robbing a bank,
I'm
you can
not.
say you can say that wasn't me.
Yeah,
All you want.
and you looked directly at the camera. I'm with you 100% on that. The only thing that I'm gonna sit up there and say that he could possibly use as his defense was that he was jawing back and forth. If they got audio of them going back and forth with that, because the ref was right there when it happened and the rest was mic'd. If they got audio of them going back and forth and you can't hear him wind up in order to do it, or you can't hear him, you can hear him talking it while it's flying out of his mouth, then you gotta fight for it. But if it's any type of pause, even being an audio analyst, if you got any type of pause and then that flew out, you done, dude. But the fact of the matter is this: you shouldn't even been in that situation in the first place. Ramsey is known for doing that. They brought up the fact that Jalen Ramsey got AJ Green suspended because AJ Green swung on him when he was playing for Jacksonville, and AJ Green don't have that in him. AJ Green, he has it, but Ramsey
he had a
pulled it out to
moment
where he swung it.
He had a moment with the Bengals before he ended up going over to Jacksonville. Oh, he got it in him. It's just
AJ never went to Jacksonville. When AJ left, AJ went out to Arizona. It was against Jacksonville. Arizona. But when that happened with him and Jalen Ramsey, that was against Jacksonville. That was when Ramsey was the corner for Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I know he had. I feel like he had one incident that shocked everybody when he was with the Bengals before he left.
That was that one.
No, before he left and went to Arizona, because I believe he had one in Arizona too.
No, I don't know. I have to look and see. I didn't think he had any other issues mainly from that.
Yeah, because I know that there was some kind of incident. One was a fight, but there were some other times where the DBs kind of got up under his skin and had him feeling some kind of way. There may not have been a fight, but you saw his temper come out, and things almost came to it, something like that. But I feel like there was more than one incident involving AJ Green, because I wasn't shocked when the fight thing happened with him and Ramsey. I do remember that. So I don't know if the other times it was just somebody getting so up under his skin that people had to hold him back. As a Bengal. But yeah, I felt like I was not shocked at all when he when him and Ramsey got into it when he was with Arizona.
Ooh.
But yeah. So now, speaking of Arizona was the other team. This is my thing, dude. They caught you on camera. You could say that.
Yeah. At this point,
the visual of it don't look good.
At this point, donate the fine like they're gonna ask you to do. Take the week off. It's not like it's gonna be any help. It's not this season.
God, against the Patriots though, that's a heck of a time to put yourself.
It's not going to be a help. It's not.
Yeah, but you still want to be in full strength, whether it's gonna help or not.
I don't care anymore. Again, anger,
Phil Collins
apathy.
With it.
Anger, apathy. At this point, I want all my horses safe in the barn for next season. And whatever changes that's about to come. Because at the end of the day, realistically, right now, do the Bengals have a 7-game winning streak to make it to where they could be possibly be in the playoff picture by the end of the season. As a Bengals fan, and I sat there and I've told people this to their face, I don't care. You can get mad at me. Anybody that's in the group, y'all can sit there and say I'm a fair weather fan. No, I am a Bengals fan that has learned from past mistakes. Yes, do I wish that my team will go on a 7-0 run and make it to the playoffs and be the miracle team that Joe Burrow leads after everything that has gone on to a Super Bowl in San Francisco and possibly win a championship? Yes, I'm always going to have that in my heart. But in my head, they legitimately have to finish out this season. I want to say their next 4 games is the Patriots, Baltimore,
the Ravens, the
Bills, and then the Ravens again.
and then dare I say they have the Dolphins the way that defense is playing. You can say whatever about the offense, that gives them a chance to win it. But that defense, you man,
That's what I'm
that
saying. The Bengals are going to rail off 7 wins in a row against the team that has been our kryptonite twice. Buffalo, that just put up, their quarterback just put up 53 points in fantasy yesterday alone. And the team that's actually beating Buffalo for the AFC East right now.
and the Ravens. You got to play them twice.
No, that's what I said. The team that's been our kryptonite twice.
God. You got to play them twice within. Who makes this schedule? You got to play them twice between 3 weeks, and you didn't even give you the Dolphins should have been where the Bills are to even give you some type of semblance of a chance.
If the Bengals finish 5-12, I will be happy.
And
that's sad because remember our picks at the beginning of this season, I had them at 15-2 to 16-1 with what they had coming into the season. And the saddest part about it is that once again, you want to know a reason why, and I'm getting right back up. Hey, Silver, come on in here. Let me hop back on your high ass. Let me get back up here. The reason why I sat there and I said that the coach and the GM both need to be fired. You notice who they put on IR this week too, didn't you?
No.
Our holdout of a first-round draft pick, Shamar Stewart. Do you know how many tackles he has this season? The man that held this team hostage because of a technicality that he didn't want to follow and thought he was the exception to. He has more games out than tackles.
And correct me if I'm wrong. That was the one, wasn't he one of the many that in the draft people had him pegged as a potential issue?
Yep. But his potential of being the replacement for Trey Hendrickson because of his style of play and the one fucking season that he really showed out.
And he was their number 1 draft pick. I actually went over to look at their schedule.
Anger, apathy. My apathy is 5-12, and that's being generous. 3-14 is actually doable. But the way that it switches back from apathy to anger is if you don't do nothing after the season is over with. Because if you don't do anything after the season is over with, you already have had the balls to sit there and have somebody that works in your offices for season tickets tell a season ticket holder who wanted to cancel their license for their thing, how do you expect for us to pay for Jamar and T? That's what y'all wanted.
Pressure bust pipes.
And this motherfucker's about to bust like it's 40 below zero and the pipes ain't been touched in 50 years.
Wow. Literally said that?
I'll find the blast. I'll find the blast for it where they sat there. They told a season ticket holder that called them in order to try to cancel their tickets that. And I bet you that person probably got employee of the month. You're not going to keep on playing with your fan base by dealing with the ineptitude.
Ooh, that's an upside for the Bengals defense.
What?
Your favorite guys out, your favorite corners out for the season.
Who?
Can't cover.
He's out for the season?
According to what I'm seeing here, yeah. Looked like it was posted an hour ago by let me
That
click.
That might be my son's messaging in the group. Hold on. I saw something pop up. I wasn't for sure what it was.
Yeah, whoever Ben Baby is, yeah. Cam Taylor Britt likely out rest of season. Will likely have surgery that will end his season. Coach Zach Taylor indicated on Monday. Let's look at the date. Yep, that's today. Apparently this he posted this article at 5:03 p.m. Let's see here.
Ooh, please.
Taylor Britt is trending towards needing surgery to repair a Liz Frank injury in his left foot.
The same thing that Lane Johnson's been playing through.
So now my question is this. And this is again why I don't like players playing hurt. How long has he had this injury? And I swear to God, if I find out that he's had it for over half, if he's had it for half the games, as a football fan in general,
Don't matter. It
for
don't
me,
matter.
No.
I get what you're about to say, but it don't matter because he couldn't cover shit last year either, and he was
true.
healthy.
And it matters. It matters to me because only because it's my primary reason why I say if you hurt, sit down. If you are the coach and you are the doctor and you know they're hurt, sit down. Because I know I may not know much about this injury because I literally just heard it from you today. I don't know much about this injury, but I'm pretty sure that it just don't pop up out of nowhere and all of a sudden you have it in one game. I'll look it up later and try to do some research on it to see like how it like I did with that one injury that that we talked about on the show a couple months ago. I will try to do some research on it and as much as I can anyway and see how that works out. Taylor didn't definitely say he needs the procedure. Then why even bring it up?
Yeah,
He'll be down for like several months. for a full recovery.
Good.
And
Maybe he can learn how to watch defense.
like all the information I had is there is a very likely chance of surgery. Taylor said that's all I know.
Awesome.
Interesting. It occurred when he was injured near the end of the first half. Oh, so apparently it did happen in the game. He was trying to cover Calvin Austin III.
Let that be the reason.
He got tangled up with him, apparently. And that
Whatever. He always gets taken. It's always an excuse. No, I'm sorry. I'm being facetious. I wish him a speedy. I wish him a speedy recovery. Hopefully, he can actually watch some film and watch some technique films. Maybe reach out to Deion Sanders or Ed Reed or Darrell Revis and try to figure out how did they actually get Hall of Fame careers instead of claiming to have one, and come back stronger than ever. Unless he's a free agent, then bye.
Yeah, he is in the final year of his rookie contract.
Deuces. But that goes into what we was talking about yesterday. Don't too many Bengals players get that second deal on defense. Bye.
Cam's a likable guy. He's energetic.
Sure.
You want to pull for him.
I want to.
So I was happy to see him rebound off some adversity and struggles he had early in the year to come back and play the way we expected him to play.
This is from the same coach that sat there and said yesterday that, hey, you know what? The score wasn't indicative of how we played.
I know. I saw it.
If you don't get this participation trophy bullshit out of here, I'm sorry. And then we're going to move on to the picks. I'm sorry. I've never heard an NFL coach sit there and say the score wasn't indicative of how we wanted to play, how we actually played. If you would actually sit there and say we tried and we did everything that we could, the score was not reflective of that. We actually played pretty good, and it's just things didn't fall our way. Last time I heard that shit was when I was on the sideline watching my daughter's cheerlead for a 6-year-old Pee-wee football league. These are grown-ass men getting paid for this. And the score wasn't indicative. So does everybody get a mini Super Bowl trophy that sits there and says, we tried, engraved on the side of it at the end of the season? Does that whole 53-man roster get that with the at least $250,000 that they get paid for in the season? Please let me know. Because if we handed out participation trophies, the Bengals have been champions for the past 50 years. That right there, every time you sit there and you try to give this so much of legitimate grace period, you didn't have your quarterback. You put your foot in your mouth. You throw out a backup. You put your foot in your mouth. You actually win a game against Pittsburgh. You put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. You do every time. He is almost Jerry Jones in this shit for his damn self right now. Take the microphone away from him. When he shouldn't even do any more post-game press conferences. Just sit up there and say,
Nope, not allowed to do that.
No,
not allowed to do that. The NFL will find you. Okay. Actually, I have one more.
I know you did. I had to get that out because when I saw it, when I heard it yesterday, and I thought it was AI. I thought people was bullshit.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I say that to you.
Yeah. I clicked on it in the NFL app for it when they said he was at the mic, and I said, "This motherfucker actually said this." And every single person that I followed, that I respect, all their attitudes after that was said changed. They said he got to go.
Yeah. Okay. So the other play that came out controversially, yeah, I wasn't for sure if it was real. That's why I didn't message you about it because I know how spirited you get when. And that was just one of those comments where it was like, I want to send this to him, but I don't know it was real if it was real, so I don't want to get him all worked up for nothing.
Oh,
Um, uh,
no. I
but
wouldn't get.
but yesterday, in the San Francisco 49ers game, player for the defense got benched. And watching the replay, uh, um,
I'm trying to remember. Did I miss this one?
yeah, um, you know, I don't like the way the angle that they took at Renardo Green because if you watch the play, Trey McBride was 12 shades of wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I
he was
remember that
12
one.
shades of wrong. And the only reason, in my opinion, after watching and seeing what happened, the only reason that I would be upset with Green is that his actions that not the fact that he did it, but the fact that it led to a penalty. Because I'm sorry, the way Trey McBride, for no reason, the play looked like it was pretty much over. And you sitting up here, you got the man's like top part of him bending one way, and then you turning his head because you got a hold to his helmet.
Yeah.
I I honestly wanted to be upset with him, but the more I kept rewatching it, I'm like, you know, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. And since the NFL is coming after people, I feel like they need to address that play.
Yeah.
I feel like that play needs to be addressed because that was overly unnecessarily aggressive. Because I'm sitting up here playing it now because I had to try to look it up so that and then the commentator is about oh it's about who gets caught. Yeah, but if you see what happened, be real. I'm gonna be real. That happened to me on the football. Yeah, I'm getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting in trouble. Ain't no bones about it. I know how things are supposed to be. I know how I'm supposed to react. But bro, it would have been one thing if he just kind of like just kind of pushed his head straight back. But he pushed and he twisted while holding
Yeah.
on. Like
Yeah.
no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, no. Now, another way that he could have done it, which would have made it hard because they changed the rules about hitting. Because back in the day, that was that's you want to play that game. Oh wow, he didn't finish the game. He caught a ball coming across the middle, and they sent him to the showers via the ambulance. Mm. Which you can still do, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. But yeah, I'm on the fence about that one. The Jamar one, I don't care what he said, and I'm sorry, you said multiple times. And then the other thing about his lie, you said you didn't say nothing to the dude, but then when the reporter kept asking, which is why reporters are such a-holes and they keep asking questions, but they change how they ask the question because they want you to trip yourself up. When they first asked him the question, he said, "Man, I ain't opened my mouth to the dude." And then question come back around. So why do you think he felt like you? Why do you think he felt that way? Oh well, it's probably something I said to him. You just said you didn't open your mouth to the dude. So if you
But
didn't
they
open your,
always trip over themselves.
you,
In the
oh,
heat of the
you just
battle, that's what I'm saying. In the heat of the battle, shit happens. I understand that sometimes, but realistically,
spit. No,
spit no, spit like we said with the first game of the season when that happened. I sat there and said, "There's levels of respect that you don't do. Getting spit on in the hood, you might not make it home.
yeah,
You
yeah.
on the football field. Let's be real. It's not. That's why I said that one there. If it was that one right there, I was more mad at Dak for not just hauling off and socking the shit out of him when he did it. That's
But
why I
you know
don't like.
what? He was smart. He was smart.
Right.
You don't
It's
like
the
it.
same
You don't
situation.
like it. He
It's
should
the
have.
same situation because but Jalen's known for that. I'm not mad at Jalen for what he did because when it happened in the speed of the game, I was like, "What the heck happened?" I was like, "Oh, you swinging? You always been like that." Then when they turned around, they showed it. I said,
Details are important. There's a reason why I say that.
and here's the thing though. And here's the thing that Jalen said that made it to where I was like, you know what? I give you the respect for it. He was like, with all the cameras that they got in here, ain't nobody got that on footage. And sure enough, right afterwards, when it was released, I said, he right. Because every time something goes on the field, they getting watched. That we saw that. What was the who with Amon Ra last week? With the Washington player. The Washington player got ejected, got suspended, and they showed Amon-Ra throw the punch. Amon-Ra ain't got nothing from it, but the camera shows it.
Mm.
So it's like, you pick and choose your battles.
Mm. Let's see. La. All right.
Picks time.
Yes, picks time. Picks time. Let's go. Let's go.
First game of the week 12. Buffalo at Houston.
God, I'm so worried about this game. I'm gonna pick the Bills, but I'm worried about this game. I am not
I
gonna
am
lie.
too. I am too.
Because that Texas defense is what has me worried. Because and this is the thing, and you know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it in the group because there's another thing that I got to beef about, and we could talk about it further next week. Um, but I am going to definitely, as soon as the show ends, I'm gonna grab my phone and I got something to say in the group about this whole premise and this fallacy about the head coach and whether he needs to be defensive or offensive
Offensive
minded.
coordinator.
And
Oh,
and
minded or coordinator?
needs to be, if your head coach needs to be a offensive coordinator, because my Bill Cowherd has been screaming this even though there's evidence to the contrary. And I'm gonna make sure that I go through. I'm gonna do a little bit of research, but I'm gonna try to do it not too long after the show ends. So, and if I don't do it by tonight, then I'll definitely try to make sure I do it tomorrow after I get back from seeing the Running Man. So, but I'm tired of the narrative when there's clear evidence that when there's clear evidence that that's not completely true. But I'm gonna also try to deep dive it too. So anyway, but yeah, Bills Texans. Who's next?
Pittsburgh at Chicago.
Crap. With me knowing that 9 times out of 10, uh God, this sucks for the Steelers. because it looks like the Steelers done figured out what to do. They moved
And then he breaks his wrist.
they moved Ramsey, which improved the defense, even though he's probably not the happiest because he doesn't get to be as involved in the defense. But it improves the defense. And now Aaron's out with his wrist. And you're going up against.
They haven't confirmed anything yet, have they?
They haven't confirmed in anything, and it's not his throwing wrist, but that him whether me putting my faith in Rodgers or Mason Rudolph, that is a thing. It's one thing to come in the second half, and it's one thing to play a whole game. It's another thing to play a whole game. And the Bears defense is feeling hype. Some of it is a little bit of placebo, but bottom line, they feeling it. And that's dangerous. So well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take the Bears. I don't, obviously I don't have no faith in it, but I'm gonna have to take the Bears. The next game will be quicker for obvious reasons. If you say,
yep, New England, Cincinnati, New England.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's gonna be quicker.
Giants, Detroit.
Oh
shoot, why am I even debating that one?
You know why you debating that one?
Even though Jameis had them looking good. I told you Jameis was gonna have them looking good, but then Jameis did Jameis stuff and threw the interception at the end of the
day. Yeah. That's my problem. He is guaranteed. And I hate to say it, he came from one of my favorite college football teams. But as I said, when I saw how he reacted and how he reacted when they lost his senior year, because they won the national championship the year before. He was riding a high. They got to the playoff, and Alabama, I believe it was Alabama, took them to task.
Mm-hmm.
And the head coach had to grab him because of his attitude and his reaction to it. And he's like, "Nah, we're not gonna do that. That's not how we do. When you win gracefully, you lose gracefully. You are not about to sit out here and do that." Yeah. And then he got to the league, and I saw what it was, and I was like, "Uh-oh, number 2." And then that turned into a whole season, and then that turned into the next season. It's like, and like what do you put that on? Because he clearly had it. He had the juice up until that loss. You saw the chinks in the armor when that loss came, and he's nothing close to what he was when he was at Florida State. Even before the loss, he's nothing close to that.
This is bullshit.
Seahawks. My bad. Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, I got a closer for us once we get out of here because it just came across on my phone and it's insane. All right. Minnesota at Green Bay.
I guess Green Bay. Not that I have much choice.
Yeah, Green Bay looked pedestrian yesterday.
And
they might not be there, so
they make me look right all the time. I love it. I said, what is it I always say? If you could get pressure on Love, he ain't it.
Nope.
I've been saying it since we first met.
But it's starting to become evident because I'm not as this is what's crazy to me. And again, I hate to throw. I go back to my team because my team is so easy to throw underneath that orange and black bus. They are actually talking about LaFleur might can get fired this season
because there's a new president.
Policy, Carmen Policy's son from the old 49ers. His son is over him now. I think that's who it is.
And they're thinking that he might want a him guy, and
that's crazy that this team has been in the playoffs or in the hunt for doing stuff every single year, and now they're saying, oh, they might fire him because of the GM, because of the new owner, the new GM that's in there for it, and we have a team that has underperformed. That's the other quick hit I got for it too. That was hilarious, but that's underperformed and we can't figure out. Hey, let them go. We'll wait to the end of the season. We don't want to ruffle any feathers, even though we got players spitting on everybody. Seattle and Tennessee.
Seattle.
Me too. Indianapolis at Kansas City.
Good God. At Kansas City. Jeez. Mm. Mm. Okay. I'm gonna go. Ooh, wow. Wow. Uh I will go. This is a tough one. Uh
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chiefs only because they're 4-1 at home, and the Colts are 2-2 on the road.
I'm going Indiana.
Crap. Wait a minute. Ooh. Wow, that's hard. Ooh. So even though even though they're 2-2 on the road, they're 6-1 in the conference, and obviously the Chiefs are 2-4 in the conference. Oof. But yeah, God, you know what? The Chiefs got to turn it around somehow eventually.
And
Mm.
I was torn on it because I was leaning Chiefs, especially coming off of that loss. But I don't think the Chiefs can stop Jonathan Taylor. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
That's what the factor of it was that Jonathan Taylor is on an MVP run right now, and if he might get Offensive Player of the Year because MVP is a quarterback award, but there's no freaking He's got I can't let that slide against what I saw in that game yesterday with probably the number 2 back in the league, which is actually number 1. Saquon and kind of took a step back this season because everybody's gunning for him. But out of the top 4 running backs in the league, they had Fitz with Gibbs. He's just as good, if not better. I don't. Yeah, I got the Colts. So that's our first head-to-head.
But just remember, they had Fitz with Gibbs, but remember who won that game?
Yeah, I know.
I
know. That's what I'm saying. I know.
So yeah, there's so many reasons.
There's so many wrinkles into it.
Yeah. So all right, who next?
Jets at Baltimore.
No, I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Yeah, scarily I am too. Cleveland at Vegas.
I'm gonna go Cleveland.
Damn it.
I didn't do it. You all right?
I'm thinking. I'm going Vegas.
All right.
The only reason why I trust Vegas's quarterback more than I trust Shador. Just get me field goal range.
Yeah, but
Both defenses. You got Max Crosby and Myles Garrett teeing off against inadequate quarterbacks. Lord be the wheel.
yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Ooh,
So
that's gonna be a good one. Jacksonville at Arizona.
Jacksonville.
I'm taking Arizona.
Okay.
Arizona, let's be real. Arizona's game yesterday against anybody else, they played actually okay. It just was the 49ers.
I thought it was the fact. I thought that was clickbait when I saw that Jacoby Brissett completed 47 of his
No.
passes. And then I actually saw it I got on ESPN and I actually saw it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like,
And
how the hell y'all lose?
And you know what's the crazy part about that? That question that you asked a few weeks back is actually now starting to be screamed out louder. They might be getting ready to get rid of them.
I've been telling people for years that that is as talented as he is, and he's kind of showed it in his demeanor. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. People that trashed Pittsburgh about Justin Fields.
Oh yeah. To the bench you go, to the bench you go.
And here's something that got put out there. We were warned what he was.
We tried to tell him. I tried to tell him.
Well, no. We were warned by somebody that was actually on the team with him. But one of the biggest reasons why we didn't listen to that person, there was two reasons. One, because people were still mad at him for his time in Cincinnati. Two, white man speaking down on the brother. He warned everybody that when it comes to Justin Fields, for some odd reason, not receptive. Not receptive of critique. Say what you want about Andy Dalton. He did what he did for the Bengals at the time. Joe Burrow did do better, but not as consistently as he did. According to, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but last I checked, pretty much every season, like the first 5 or 6 seasons, they were in the playoffs with the Red Rocket. It was just that pressure bust pipes with him, and he couldn't be trusted once he got antsy. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Oh, I just.
Oh. So yeah, that I'm sorry. People need to apologize to that man because apologize to Andy Dalton, apologize to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They apologize to Chicago. because although I will say he did start to show some improvement, so it was a little shocking that they decided to go away from him. But details are important, and if you notice, no details ever came out about Justin.
No.
That was the weird part, and I think that was another thing that kind of made Andy Dalton catch backlash too, because like nobody ever said anything. Nobody from Chicago, nothing leaked. So, but yeah, you could clearly see what's going on, and there was one person willing to say it. So, so yeah, there's that. I hope he figures it out, but yeah, that's uh, this is ridiculous. Stop being worried about if they can scramble. Be worried about if they can consistently, even when under pressure, if they can keep their poise and do the job. Which that's a hard ask, especially when you got a defense that as soon as you say hike, you barely get 2 seconds out and you're being chased. So it's a hard ask to keep your poise. So that's not a QB position is not an easy position. So
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Philadelphia at Dallas.
Wow. I'm still gonna say Philly. I'm gonna say Philly this week. I'm not gonna do like I did last week. Even if it wasn't Dallas, I'll probably still be picking Philly because I'm still mad at myself that I didn't switch to Philly last week. And if they finally laid this to rest, they are now a problem with with the Rams being second.
Yeah.
I think the minutia starting to wash away, and you're starting to see what you can see. But basically, the Rams and the Eagles in the East control their destiny. Now the AFC is still up for grabs.
Yeah, it's too many unknowns in the AFC right now.
I don't care what you can pull up my Patriots, you can pull up the Broncos. The Broncos, I'm sorry, that offense performing the way it's performing, I don't foresee it being able to get by in the playoffs.
No, it's not.
Somebody's gonna take that down. You can figure out a way to get down, and I could be wrong. I'm just saying that the chances, that the possibilities aren't high for them to get through. They could mess around and completely prove me completely and utterly wrong. I'm not saying it's not possible at all. I'm just saying the likelihood of it. That's all I'm saying. Next up,
Atlanta at New Orleans. Sadly.
Wow.
I'm going to Atlanta just because I still don't trust New Orleans full offense. And they're coming off a bye, so they've had time with Slaw to be able to do what he needs to do, but I'm not. It's still Kirk Cousins with a full week. I trust Kirk Cousins.
Plus the Atlanta defense. I think the Atlanta defense, although it is at the end of the day, it is a divisional game. And who's at who?
Atlanta's at New Orleans.
Yeah, it's a toss up either way because at home and away, New Orleans is 1-4, and then away Atlanta is 1-4. So it's possible for, oh God, and then the injuries that are plaguing them. Yeah, they're plaguing Atlanta. I mean,
now with Penix out for the season.
He's out for the season?
Yeah, Penix is done. He messed up his knee. That's why Cousins is their starter for here rest of the season.
Wow.
That's why I said what I said earlier. If you look at the teams in this league right now that is playing with backup quarterbacks right now, Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Giants. Jets. Cleveland. Arizona. New Orleans. Atlanta. And San Francisco played half their season with one. They just got their quarterback back. Half the league been playing with backup quarterbacks. And Cleveland is starting a quarterback that's getting his first team reps this week.
I I I I hope he I genuinely hope that he does well.
I do too.
But I wish that he didn't have to start there. Just because of the fact I hope he's really been paying attention and doing his homework and having some idea of what he's gonna do to be able to combat that. Because really, if you think about it, he does have a
The
chance to
quarterback
be.
graveyard.
He does have a chance to be successful there, mainly because the two biggest stages that he was on in college, that's basically what his line was. He did not have a line that he can trust. So
No.
hopefully he can try to remember what he did to be as good as he was, and hopefully it does pan over. Now that and it's unfortunate because there's going to be so much pressure on him from the undue hype, and then people are going to be talking smack because it's about time that y'all finally started him, and it started. Just shut up and let him start, and let's see where this goes.
It'll be what it'll be. All right, last two. Tampa Bay at the Rams.
Oh, I hate this for my Buccaneers, and I hate this for my. I know people are gonna get to the point where you're gonna question my fandom. Um, this at the end of the day, this is a competition. I'm trying to win. Um, ooh, I gotta go with the Rams again. I hate to go against my Bucks again, but it's just Stafford is doing what he's doing, and the Rams defense is starting to find themselves. Ooh, you hear about James Franklin?
Yeah, he went home.
No. Apparently he may potentially have a job with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he went home. I thought he was a Virginia Tech alum.
My bad.
He actually, I think it's not potentially. I think that this actually been signed.
Yeah, it is. I'm reading it now. Yeah, so he's at Virginia Tech, which could make things spicy for the ACC.
Very spicy because he actually they ain't got nobody there. That's what I'm like, hey, I like that.
Yeah. No, nobody that's like dominant. That basically the ACC is like more or less wide open. So
He's
yeah,
not from there. I don't know why they kept on saying he was going home to Virginia Tech. Yeah, he started out in Maryland. He started at Maryland, Kansas State, Vanderbilt, and then Penn State. Which Vanderbilt and Penn State Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech are pretty much same level. So yeah, I expect some good things from there. All right, last game, and then my quick hits to end this out. Carolina at San Francisco.
It's gonna be an interesting game, but I'm going with San Fran. But the stupid Panthers.
They just been pesky. They've been pesky as shit lately.
Yeah, they're 6-5. They're 3-3 away. They're 3-2 at home. Yeah, this is and San Fran is 2-2 at home and 5-2 away. So So, oh Jesus. Somebody's getting knocked out, not knocked out in the wash because you got I'm looking at the NFC West and the NFC North,
Mm-hmm.
and you got teams with no more than 4 losses and no less than 6 wins. Somebody's getting knocked. Somebody's getting knocked down some pegs. I will try to go through and look at the schedules and see if we can play around with some predictions and some possible predictions. And
All right.
hmm, hmm.
So you want to know what's the funny thing?
What's up?
With your games yesterday
Uh-huh.
and mine, we are in a dead heat with the exact same record going into tonight's game. Yeah. That look on your face was just like, what the heck?
No, this
Are
is
you looking
about
at what I sent you?
no, this is about something else. Somebody being impatient and thinking that's my problem.
Yeah.
Uh, had somebody send me the person that had the favor to ask. Apparently, they're somewhere where their phone's about to die. But apparently, the favor they need me to do is at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I told them I was doing my podcast. I didn't tell them how long it was, but um,
Oh wow. 1 o'clock with a phone dying? Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So, uh,
Let me pull it back up for it. But I did.
yeah. If
We
you sent it to me, I'm not sure where it is.
I'm about
Well,
to resend it because I did
oh,
the update for it.
was it Cam's critique?
No, I sent you. I think I sent you Cam's critique. No, Cam Scatterboo is getting involved in pushing wrestlers at Madison Square Garden tonight. The man that just broke his freaking ankle was front row and got into it with the Judgment Day.
I was gonna end up seeing that. And apparently, I just got a message from Tasha. She sent me a message. So as soon as we get off of here, I'm gonna have to go to Netflix and hit restart.
Yep.
Um, and hit restart on this. So that I can see everything that's happening and take my notes for the next episode. So this Sunday. So uh mm, wow.
That's strike one.
Wow.
That's strike one. Strike
Mm.
two also ties with wrestling. What's the point of them going on the independent scene and then when they come back as the special people that's wrestling, they have to wrestle underneath their WWE names? Matt Cardona came back on Friday.
Because because this is a power thing.
Wait. Now, and I know you're about to say that, but here's the thing. Wasn't Triple H's biggest thing saying that he was letting them use the names that they were known for on the indies? He's not made anybody change their name unless they wanted to.
And Zach wanted Zach. I'm pretty sure the only reason Zach changed his name, like a lot of people that left wrestling, was the only reason that they changed their name was because the WWE wouldn't let them take their name with them when they left. That's the only reason people call Edge Adam Copeland because
Right. But that's what I'm saying. But that's the difference with them leaving and going to a different company. They're coming back and wrestling underneath your company. And if you are a fan if you are a fan that's only been watching wrestling since the AEW era started,
Not a flop like that.
You watching what I sent you?
No, a offensive lineman and a defensive lineman got into it,
Oh, during
and
yeah,
and
I
they
did
were
see that.
swinging, they were swinging, and they were swinging at each other, and when the defensive lineman hit the dude twice, the second hit, dude flailed his arms up in the air and did this dramatic I'm in the play flop. I'm like,
Okay.
dude, you too big and too tall. No, you
They,
too
the
big and too tall.
the acting jobs are amazing.
Yeah. If you doing a play that's not on Broadway, that acting was great. But even in slow mo, that was like, yeah, you made sure that you were falling safe, and yet you were trying to act it out like a little 2-year-old. Come on, what are we doing?
Man.
Um, like,
And and the last one that I got for you before we get out of here, because
ooh
it's
wee,
9:30.
ooh wee. Oh no, he was down. He was down. Pretty sure he was down.
Nah, he wasn't down. He was still running. The last one that I got. So, here locally with high school football, you saw Elder pull off a miraculous comeback that
No, he
made
was down. Yeah, his elbow and part of his arm hit the ground, and his knee was on the ground. So yeah, he was down.
okay. Elder pulled off that miraculous comeback on Friday and beat Princeton 32-30 at the pit. And St. X knocked out Moeller in the tournament.
Yeah.
So it's Elder versus St. X. The game was supposed to be at Mason. The game sold out for their 7,000 seats before seats was released for students.
Yeah.
So now the county commissioner, Treehouse, is trying to get them to move the game from Mason to Paycor, which I have zero problems with that whatsoever.
Okay.
Because they could probably sell at least 20,000 seats for that game alone. I remember games being played in that part of it during the season 4. I forgot what the rule was that came out that said that they couldn't play in certain arenas in certain parts of the thing. It was a bullshit ass rule, because they used to be one of the things that teams used to want to look forward to either go play at Nippert or go play at Paycor, and then they stopped. But if they can get that move, first things first, I'm sorry, parents, it's not for y'all. Alumni, it's not for y'all. Half of y'all gonna be complaining because Friday they're saying it's gonna be torrential rain and in the 40s. Y'all ain't gonna want to sit through that. And as a player that has played through that, I would love that, especially if it was mud. But all these artificial turfs, drying, everything else like that, it ain't gonna be as messy as it is. It's gonna be a sloppy game, but it is what it is. But to sell out a high school football game before the students and the faculty that have put their time and effort into those student athletes in order for them to be able to play for it, and for the Ohio High School Athletic Association, you dummies, why did you not set aside seats before you released them for the students? Make it make sense. But again, this is where common sense isn't common. I have to keep on banging myself in the head when it comes to that, because that is completely the most common sense thing to do. Oh God, what did happen?
What did Abdul Carter do?
What, he cut?
No. Apparently, he didn't play the whole game.
He didn't play the whole game yesterday against the Giants because they said there was a rumor that he fell asleep during a meeting, and then there was another rumor that he skipped the walkthrough.
Gotcha.
So nothing's been put out there for sure, but those are the two things that's out there for it.
That's why the report that I'm reading on the Irish Star said that he said that it was an in-house issue.
Yeah, it was an in-house issue. That's why he didn't play. And they were saying they already started trying to voice concerns like, oh my guys, this is what you're getting from this person that's doing this.
Set the standard.
But set the standard, right? And it's not it's not hard from that. And the Giants are actually looking like they're building something from it. And Abdul Carter is from the Micah Parsons School of Linebackerism. So who knows?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
You're good, because that's a wrap for tonight, folks.
Yeah. God, this is so fun. I need to, dude. We need to get something figured out because I really want to spend more time with this. I really do.
We are going to figure something out with that definitely the coming weeks. Now, next week's episode is going to be kind of fun because next week's episode will probably be a little bit later, and it's going to be remote for me because I'll be in the airport waiting to catch another flight while we're doing this because it's Thanksgiving. I get to go get my child. So I'm legitimately catching a flight at, I want to say 6 p.m. from Cincinnati to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a layover for, I think, maybe about an hour and a half before I get on my next flight. I ain't got to worry about taking no bag or whatever else. So as soon as I get to the airport, it'll be call in. We knock it out until they say we boarding. And that'll be the full blast of it. But just to make sure with that, because this week alone, I think Sunday is my only off day where I don't have anything to do between now and the 30th. So that'd be crazy. And trust me, it's gonna come out because I'm about to start throwing out shots I've been adding little nuances when on the page. It's more coming. Oh, it's more coming. And we're going to be back together a lot sooner rather than later. And I mean a lot sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Because knowing now what the setup is, yeah, we'll be recording live very, very soon.
Okay.
But with that, folks, another day in the books. That is Dante Suave. I am Mystah Jay. This has been United World of Sports, episode 48. We are coming up on 1 year.
Next month, 1 year.
Been a ride. But until next time, folks, see you next week. Enjoy the sports. And I'm about to clean up and go home.
Later.